Live from England, cricket's greatest rivalry, the Ashes.
Stark is over the wicket at him. He's bowled him! It's to taken! Coney's left on the pad. They're up, he's out. Stephen Smith, it's a screamer.
That is Test cricket at its finest.
From the cafe, celebrating 30 years of coffee fit for an Aussie. England versus Australia, the Ashes on SEN Cricket.
Good morning and welcome back to SEN Test Cricket, live from Edgbaston from McCafe, celebrating 30 years of coffee, fit for an Aussie. Usman Khawaja, what a story. Let's go back before the previous Ashes series in Australia, about 18 months ago. It was the Queensland captain up against the South Australian skipper for the number 5 spot, and the call went the way of Travis Head. But when his competition for that spot got COVID ahead of the Sydney Test, he got his opening. And after majestic twin tons there, he was undroppable. And that's just the start of it. In 18 tests since his return, nobody in the world has scored more runs. Yesterday, his 7th century in that staggering stretch, made across 4 countries, all while averaging 70. And better still, it was an innings still unbeaten that Australia desperately needed after losing Warner and Labuschagne in consecutive deliveries early on day 2. With the Edgbaston crowd fired up and Stuart Broad moments away from leaping into the Holly stand, it was Khawaja who absorbed all the pressure before combining with each of his middle order colleagues to transfer it back onto the home attack. Those England seamen sure looked sore and tired by stumps. The second new ball not working for them after Broad went through Khawaja with a beauty, but did so having failed to keep his boot behind the line. After that moment of drama, Khawaja and Carey, resuming today on 126 and 52 respectively, did as they pleased to the close. But still 82 behind, with a long tail to come, they'll have to reset this morning and make sure of a first innings lead. From there, everybody knows how England will approach their second innings, and we also know they prefer to play golf on day 5, not cricket. Rain might intervene too, with storms scheduled later today. All the fun of the fair when it comes to cricket in this part of the world. I'm Adam Collins, and to begin with me, we've got Damien Fleming, former Australian quick 2 times Ashes winner. Bharat Sundaresan, my right-hand man. We'll start with Flem. Good morning, both. It's nowhere near as gloomy and cloudy as it was 24 hours ago. It feels like pretty good conditions for Aussie to start again.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the only storm I want to see is the Aussie storming to victory. And they will owe it a lot to Usman Khawaja. For all the baseball and the excitement of strike rates of 100, this was a classic Test 100 for a team that was under the pump, for a player, as you talked about, in this renaissance as an opener, has been averaging close to 70. He wanted to tick off England, though. He's ticked off every other country now, and this meant so much. I love Bharat, and you probably can give us a good insight into this. Khawaja's just in his zone the whole time, plays at his own pace. I thought he was very important to Trav Head, who looked a bit nervous, Cameron Green, who looked as nervous as I've ever seen him. I think he helped calm them down. But when he gets 100, you know, he goes hard. Like it's much watch, isn't it? What's he going to do now? And in the end, it was just to throw the bat there. And then as quickly as he got up with the euphoria of celebrating his first 100 in England, by the next ball, he's back into that zone.
I think
so. He's owning his own mindset.
Yeah, and Flem, I think finally Usman Khawaja, the person, and Usman Khawaja, the batter, emerged into one. And you've known him for a long time. He's the coolest cat you'll find away from the cricket. But that never really reflected when he was batting. He was a different person. He put pressure on himself. Back in the day, he listened to a lot of these external voices, and especially when he was playing in the subcontinent or in England, where his record wasn't great. Every time he came to England, he was dropped, or he wasn't picked for England. So I think all that was playing on in his mind. But in the last 18 months, he's just a free man. And you're right. He's just in such a great space. I think nothing summed it up better than bringing his little daughter to the press conference yesterday because she wasn't ready to leave him. And the moment where the family came is, I don't know whether you heard about this. Apparently, they walked in, and that's when Stuart Broad bowled the no ball and told him. So what better timing for the family to walk in to the Edge crowd? Yeah.
Yeah, again, you know, we've had this with a few of the Aussie players, Flem. We've had kids and feel like it's just settled them down a little bit. And Khawaja perhaps epitomises that. Father's Day here as well in England this Sunday. Of course, not in Australia, but I suppose you'll get a chance to double dip on that front. I can see Uzi on the TV screen doing an interview downstairs at the moment. Big smile on his face and all the rest of it. And Bharat, you were there for that bat-off, if you like, between Khawaja and Head at the Karen Rolton Oval a couple of years ago before the Ashes of 21-22. And, I mean, if you go back 12 months even further back from that, he was finished as a Test cricketer.
He was.
The summer of 2021 against India, nobody was talking about Usman Khawaja making a return to Test ranks. To think that a year on from that, it was almost a bit of a, well, he gets one more test at his old home ground, the SCG. He'll be rotated back. You know, whatever will be, will be. But to grasp that opportunity, it's something that I hope players around the country will see and realise is something they could do as well. If you get a chance, you've got to take it.
Even going back to that bat-off at the Karen Rolton Oval, it was all about Head versus Khawaja. Khawaja was Queensland captain, and it was a dicey pitch on the first couple of days. Then it evened out. And at one point, Queensland had the opportunity to bat again. And for Khawaja to bat at the best time to bat it on that pitch, it was really flat. But he chose to enforce the follow-on. And they rolled over South Australia, and they just had to make 50, 60 runs. And Manas and Khawaja finished it off. And he was asked about it. Like, you know, this was your chance. This was supposed to be the big bat-off. But he said, man, I'm in a space where it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, I want to play Test cricket again. Obviously, I want to put the baggy green again. But, you know, I'm in a space where my priorities are different. And, Flem, I'm sure you went through that phase when you're playing cricket as well, right? When just going out there and performing is not the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a perfect life balance, isn't it? I think when you're younger, you actually validate yourself with your cricket performances because that's what you're living, and that puts you down a dark road at times.
Yeah.
Also a tick for the selectors, and I think I know we've had some changes, and maybe it's we don't have the luxury of the middle order players of the late 80s and throughout the 90s. You know, unlucky players, Jamie Siddons, Stuart Law, Bradley Hodge, Jimmy Marr, all these sort of guys. We don't have that luxury now, so they have rewarded Shield performances. And the thing that I've liked about Usman, Travis Head, even Marcus Harris, who for me still hasn't shown whether he's Test class or not. Now Matty Renshaw, they've picked the best performing state batsman, and good on them. You know, they haven't really taken Cam Green just picked himself. Pekoski dominated. So Usman got back in. They rewarded it, even though he's a bit older with runs. You know, I had him playing that first test. You know, I wasn't sold on Travis Head, so that I got that wrong. But to think that he would never, if Trav hadn't got COVID, he's not playing Test cricket again.
It's a great point. I mean, it's entirely, you know, you talk about that film sliding doors. I think that term sliding doors gets misused quite a bit in the media, but it is the definition of that. That if not for the fact that, I mean, if Travis Head doesn't get COVID that very week, because remember, Head was the player of the Ashes for Australia. He won the Compton Miller medal. He made 100 at Brisbane, the quickest Ashes 100, I think it was, to start the series. Man of the match there, and goes on to make 100 subsequently when recalled for the Hobart Test when Marcus Harris got squeezed out. But nevertheless, Head was the match winner. He was the coming man. He was, by that stage, the former vice-captain, but a leader in the side. South Australian captain since he was 21. Khawaja wasn't supplanting him, you know, over, the better part of 10 years his senior. All of this aligned so splendidly. It's like the Scott Boland movie we sometimes talk about. There might be an Usman Khawaja one as well.
There is some great stories.
Speaking of the bowling side of things, Flem, England's bowlers, I acknowledged in the intro there, they looked pretty tired late yesterday. And talking to Michael Vaughan last night in a spot with him, his view is that when playing 4 and 5 day cricket, you develop a certain resilience for being out in the field for 6.5 hours day after day. The truth is, this England side, for the most part, haven't been doing that. They've been playing short-form cricket. They've been having a rest. They've not been playing tour games or warm-up games, with the exception of the Ireland match where they didn't really need to put in the hard yards after bowling him out cheaply on the first day. It's a different skill set, a different type of pressure, and they're feeling it at the moment.
I mean, you put just a sports fan and make them stand in the field for 7 hours, and they don't even have to bowl, but they've got to walk and run, chase the ball and all that. They would be absolutely zonked by halfway through the day. It's a gradual fatigue. And then bowling fast, I think it works out almost a kilometre or a kilometre and a half per over the day. So you're getting up to 20, 25 kilometres. You know, coming off no preparation, you know, that has to fatigue you. And it's firstly physical, and then it becomes mental. You know, I think they have some quite an inadequate attack for this pitch, and they got lucky with the conditions early yesterday. And Stuart Broad, of all of them, though, he's the one that seemed up. He's wanted it. He's upskilled again. He's out swinger, even though it was a wide, and got out Marnus. I felt like he was the one that was up. Ali did as good a job as I think he can, but he was aided that the pitch started to turn, and it was quicker turn than day one. Otherwise, he would have been a numb for 150 sort of guy. Robertson really looked under par. Under par. He needs green seamers. They've got to play Mark Wood ahead of him. If it's a dry, flat pitch like this again, let's hope it's not. And Ando's 41. He doesn't give much away. But if the pitch and air conditions aren't giving him much, it's pretty much medium pace, stump to stump, isn't it?
And psychologically, Brad, if Australia can take a first innings lead after what happened on day one, that'd be huge.
It'd be huge, and I think Australia played the game beautifully as well in terms of after the first 2 wickets fell, and Steve Smith spent some time out there in the middle, saw off that tricky period. Yes, I mean, he would have liked to have continued, but then there were big partnerships, and the partnerships are also coming at a fair clip. And Usman Khawaja at one end was just, you couldn't move him. And at the other end, runs came quickly, whether it was Head, Green, or this very important innings that Alex Carey has played for the 3rd straight time in Test cricket.
Bharat, Flem, thank you both. Australia will resume in about 18 minutes from now at 5 for 311 with Carey on 52, Khawaja on 126. We'll take a break. Our pre-game is for Drinkwise. Remember, if you're having a drink, the Drinkwise after the break. Daniel Norcross will be in for the first time today. He'll have Pete Lalor, Jeremy Coney and Phil Long for company.
SEN Test cricket on day 3 of the first Ashes Test match. England against Australia, obviously, at Edgbaston. I'm Daniel Norcross. Alongside me is our venerable sage, Pete Lalor, and the Oracle himself, Jeremy Coney, former New Zealand captain. Yeah, very much so. And we're eagerly anticipating, I imagine, with the ball 14 overs old, quite an intriguing morning session. Yesterday we saw a little bit of movement. The only time that the pitch has actually responded to any of the seam bowling was pretty much this time yesterday. The pitch had been under the covers a little bit more. It has been under cover overnight because there had been forecast rain, but that's long gone, and it's a beautiful straw-coloured pitch. We've seen that actually all bowlers have struggled a little bit, but England's bowlers have been exposed a touch, would you say, Jeremy, for a lack of pace? Yesterday they started to look a little toothless in that final session.
Yeah, I think conditions yesterday suited England because of the overheads and so on, and because the covers were on the wicket until, quite close to the start of play. That's different today, that's the first thing to say. The covers have been off. There's a chance for any moisture that's there overnight. You just get a little bit and it changes for a few overs, but it's not going to, shouldn't be there today. This pitch is dry. It's a dry looking, slightly horrible thing actually. Yeah, and there's lots of sort of footmarks that you can see now. But even the parts that where there hasn't been player traffic, are very dry as well. So this pitch is actually, in my opinion, is going to get slower and lower and more turn. We've seen a lot of turn from the bowlers so far, especially from Moeen yesterday. We
saw a wonder ball from Moeen, 8.9 degrees of turn, which is apparently very unusual.
Yeah. But, the first thing, England are going to want a wicket today and open up that long tail with no Stark there, and you've got diminishing returns, really, from Cummins and lower. So that wicket is very important. Yesterday I thought Khawaja was terrific. I thought he was in his bubble, he was content, he looked calm and serene. Had a little problem early on in getting onto the front foot and the weight over the front foot, so he used his hands but worked it out. And I thought he played beautifully. Anything short, you can't bowl short on a pitch like this. Was whacked sort of mid-wicket and squarer. And then he started to use his feet and go down to Moeen Ali and use the air.
Now this is ominous for England, Pete, isn't it? Because all the pre-series build-up was about Labuschagne and Smith and how they were going to be the kryptonite for England's Bazball approach. They were going to be the ones who could bat all day. But actually, Khawaja did it yesterday, and he was very, very well supported by Alex Carey, who had a lovely little knock there.
And not to forget the cameo from Travis Head. That probably should have gone a bit longer. And I think had Head been out there another hour, Australia would have had blue sky by now. Look, It's overcast. It's not going to be easy batting first up. It's a topic for further discussion. The pitches in England. Talking to Michael Atherton last night, he said last 4 years they've all been dismal. They're not rolling them. They're slow. They're dibbly-dobbler wickets. But this is not what I expect when I come to England. I want something with a bit of seam movement off the grass. Go on.
No, I just got the feeling last time against India it actually got better, this pitch, because England chased down 370 didn't they?
I mean, I think that's what Athens is talking about. But in England, pitches in the last few years have done that infuriating thing. They've got something in them on the first day, and they get progressively better. And you know, this is partly why Stokes says we'll have a chase, because Trent Bridge last year became even flatter. It was a great place to bat. Headingley did exactly the same thing, and it has done for a few years now. Don't forget Shea Hope, the only man to hit 200s in a first-class match at Headingley. Did that 5-6 years ago against England. And West Indies, who are a limited side, made a chase of 350 odd look easy.
Yeah. Hey, look, the great thing about that was a great day for Australia. Yeah, it was a tortoise and a hare. Resilient. Held their nerve in difficult time, but it was a spectacular day for Usman Khawaja, and great to see a guy, what is he now, 36 years old, bouncing his daughter on his lap in the press conference. Now, he's not coarse enough to speak like this, but basically he stuck it right up him. He's been the subject of critics all his life. He's not fit enough. He can't play spin. He doesn't quite fit in. He doesn't care enough. Coaches, selectors, journalists, the fans have all doubted Usman Khawaja. Dropped twice in England previously. Got a second life, thought nothing matters. Comes back, makes those double centuries in Sydney. Goes to India, makes that big 100 at Ahmedabad, and bats very well. Goes to Pakistan, makes the 100. Now he comes back here where he's had one decent innings in 3-4 tours. And he makes his 100. That was really special and important.
He scored more runs in that innings than he scored in the 3 tests he played the first time he was here and the 3 tests he played the second time, combined on each go. I mean, but England, I don't think, we were talking about this yesterday, I don't think England are able to determine the pitches. They can't say to Gary Barwell, well, they can say it, I want this, and then expect to get it, because I'm afraid ground curation in England is a very different beast from, for example, India, where you can, to order, make a pitch. You can't do that here for all sorts of reasons. So I think it's just what it is. It's a tired-looking surface. And this is why it strikes me that the conditions have been set up perfectly to challenge, actually, England's approach. Because England's approach of trying to take time out of the game, it's what this pitch needs. But against an Australian side that isn't quite going to play ball, I think they had little flashes of it after lunch yesterday. Head, and you liked Head's innings. I liked it a lot. He came after Moe. But we've talked a bit about Carey, fantastic knock.
He's getting better and better with the bat.
But we've talked a lot about Australia, and they talked a fair bit about Khawaja earlier. I want to look at Moeen Ali, because he's come into this side and a lot of people raised a lot of eyebrows, and yesterday he bowled 29 overs. Now, this guy has not played a red ball game for years.
That's more overs than he bowled in the entire IPL.
Correct.
Which is astounding. That's piecemeal work. So how's he done this?
He's got a big split on his third finger. Normally people get offies will get it on the the digit, but he actually is over here, the same as Swan. Does it, and it's here, and imagine
on the root
29
finger,
yes, on the
root finger,
exactly, the root finger, exactly, the longman. So mine's just the longest, the third finger. Let's go.
Yes, we're showing each other this third finger a lot here in the box.
We get on well.
Well, he's going to have a bit more bowling to do today. He bowled 29 overs yesterday. Strangely enough, so did Nathan Lyon. He conceded 20 runs fewer than the great Australian, but picked up half the number of wickets.
But that'll be the batting too, I think. The approach of the batting. Very different day yesterday. That's what I loved about the day, actually. Yeah. We had the first day, which was frenetic and working it round and so on. Second day, quieter.
Well, we're very, very close to the start of the third day's play. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll be, about a minute away from that first ball.
SEN Test Cricket for Macca's. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe, Jerusalem. The final bars of it playing out across Edgbaston as it does every day of Test cricket in this country. Australia resuming at 5 for 311. There's still 82 runs in arrears, but Khawaja, having batted all day yesterday, continues on 126. San's jumper wore the jumper all day yesterday, but today the long sleeve shirt with number 1 on his back. There went Alex Carey to resume a stand of 91. He's on 52 from 80 balls. Got an early chance. Johnny Bairstow putting him down from the bowling of Joe Root, but for the most part, Carey's been playing on his terms, striking the boundaries through the covers late in the day, which made him a real threat, a real pest, as he was last week at the Oval against India in the World Test Championship final, finding the rope 7 times and clearing it once in the final session. Adam Collins with you, Bharat Sundaresan and Damien Fleming with me. And James Anderson has the ball in his hand, Flem, and that's who you want to go to. Go to your banker, go to the veteran when the second year ball is still hard on you.
Yeah, definitely so. He's probably under-bowled yesterday, but he certainly enjoyed the conditions early yesterday. That was a little bit more humid, and the ball did swing. We know he's very accurate. We know he's into that Anderson avenue of apprehension consistently, but he needs to make the ball move either in the air with legitimate swing or get that wobbled seam going. And we know Khawaja is the big wicket because we know he can bat big and bat long. Carey, I thought Bharat was superb yesterday. He's developing as a player. So defensive fields, isn't it? Usman looks up and there's fielders everywhere, but just can't wait for day 3.
Ahead of the first ball, we welcome our audiences joining us for the first time from Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia, Tasmania and the Northern Territory. Welcome one and all. Australia about to resume at 5 for 311. James Anderson has the ball in his hand at our pavilion end. He'll be bowling at Usman Khawaja. 126 of the best so far, 14 fours and a couple of sixes. Just one catcher behind the wicket, 4 catches in front of the wicket. Unusual field. Anderson round the wicket to Khawaja. First ball of day 3, tucked round the corner for an easy single. 5 for 312, deficit of 81. So that's 2 catching mid-wickets, Bharat, and 2 catching covers.
Morning, Adam. Morning, Flem. Morning, everybody listening to us all around the world. And we saw Ben Stokes use some interesting fields yesterday to pretty much all the Aussie batters, and Travis Head said that was something that they were expecting but not sure till they walked out to bat, each one of them, what Ben Stokes had an offer for them. But this field we saw says a lot about this pitch. Slowed down even as the play progressed yesterday on day 2, and expected to get slower and slower from this point on.
Carey's first ball of the day from Anderson, same field. It's full and straight on the angle, pushed out towards the squarer of the 2 catching mid-wickets. No run, but nice delivery.
Yeah, there's a little bit of swing, isn't there? So Anderson won't mess around too much from that area. I wonder whether, if he feels like the ball's going to move in the air, whether he comes over the wicket. Now, we know Usman's record's not great. And even Carey as a left-hander, they don't face many bowlers who swing the ball back in. And certainly we saw yesterday with Stephen Smith, he get hit even high up in the pads. You're still out.
Yeah. 685 test wickets. Anderson bowls to Carey, who defends out to mid-wicket, the straighter of the 2.
I'd do it now.
Yeah.
I'll be getting over the wicket.
Exactly, yeah. Especially, Flem, you've seen all 3 balls. There is some shape. Why would you stick to around the wicket and kind of negate that with that angle?
And it may only last 2 overs. So every ball's like gold.
Yeah.
Swing.
The applause from the Holly stand as they complete their own rendition of Jerusalem after the first ball every day. Anderson up to the crease here, bowls again to Carey, inside edge, not quite, but I tell you what, it's gone between bat and stumps, and Bairstow had to move a long way to his right. It's done loads and it couldn't have missed the off stump by far. Felt like an inside edge on the basis of the movement plan.
So.
It's done. Watching it back for type outs. Wobble seam.
Oh, big edge.
Did he get the edge?
Oh,
he's put it down.
Oh, no.
He did get the inside edge, and Bairstow has dropped Carey in the first over of day 3.
Yeah, I mean, he took a nice one to Smith Marnus. It was very similar.
A replace for tyre power, your tyre experts. Anderson in the game. Bowls again to Carey, who's forward in defence.
He went too far. It almost hit him on the wrist.
Well, Carey had one like that, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Bairstow Just a couple of opportunities yesterday. Carey on 24 off Joe Root, and he also had Green cold on North stunts, but wasn't able to glove it.
Sometimes on pitches like, normally you go, oh, let's create 12, 13 chances a day and we'll get 10, we'll bowl them out. You're not going to create 12, 13 chances on a pitch like this.
Anderson to Carey on the angle again. Pushed out towards the onside, completes a busy first over. Australia adding 1 run. They're 5 for 312, trailing by 81. That's on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sail on now. Carey 52, Khawaja 127, and the drop catch. And we're getting a look on television of all the missed chances Bairstow's had. There's been, believe me, plenty of debate in English cricket overnight about the Ben Foakes situation, the fact that Foakes was overlooked in favour of Bairstow. Nobody doubting that Bairstow should be in the team, but should he have the gloves? They have accommodated Bairstow in that position because, frankly, they wanted to keep Crawley in the side. They were determined to keep Crawley up top, and they didn't want to part ways with the opening partnership that he's been building with Duckett, and thus Foakes was the man to go. And Fleming, you've played a lot of cricket over here. A wicket-keeper often back to the stumps is crucial because the ball does so much after passing the woodwork.
Funny, even talking to someone at Brad Haddon, who was really experienced when he finally got to play Test cricket, he said until you get here in England, you don't know how much it swings after it goes past the batsman. Graham Manu, kept in one Test match. He was a great keeper, Graham, and he said the same. So it is a very unique position. And as well as he batted, he might be in the negatives already with his keeping, runs-wise.
Certainly make that case. It's going to be Moeen Ali to begin from the Birmingham City end. 2 for 124 from 29 overs yesterday. A peach of a delivery to go through Green. First ball hit at Khawaja, got a slip and a couple of catching covers. Khawaja placing it to the square of those. That's Ollie Pope, right?
I guess it'll come down to a question of what are those 78 runs he scored worth to you if you're an English selector? How many drops? How many mistakes can he make?
Moeen passes umpire Raza. A bit wider on the crease, round the wicket. Khawaja, room to cut, but straight to broader backward point. No run.
And in terms of timing, Jimmy Anderson, you said Flem bowled just 3 spells yesterday. First shot of the day, he's getting the ball to shape in the air, and the timing of that drop as well, once again.
First over of the day. Moeen delivers. Khawaja back in the crease again. Initially wanted to cut, then checked his shot, placing it out to mid-off, no single.
I mean, it was an important partnership, wasn't it? Like, we one more wicket there for the Australians. They might have been, was it 5 for 195 or something like that?
You saw Longo behind in the game. Moeen bowls and edged and through between Bairstow and Root at slip. Root was diving behind and it was buys. Oh, wow. So we're behind Khawaja at our end from our broadcast position. Looks like it must have been off the bat, but we'll watch the replay for tyre power, your tyre experts. That's just rag, Bharat. Talk us through it.
Wow. Puff of dust again. That turned a long way. No surprises that Nathan Lyon spent 15 minutes this morning studying this pitch from different parts. I'm sure he's looking forward to bowling on this.
Oh, definitely.
5 for 316 with the Sundaresan. Moeen again to Khawaja back, and again on the cut shot. This time an easy single to deep point.
And what we saw with
28 for him. Sorry.
Nathan Lyon bowled really well the first innings, and he was beating him in flight and angles, but they had enough time to play it off the pitch. What we saw late yesterday with the Green dismissal onwards, it's actually starting to bite, and what happens is it actually increases pace. So Lyon, wow, imagine if the Aussies can have just a little lead and they're in the negatives.
Very much
with Lyon licking his lips to, well, he took 6 for here 4 years ago.
On the final day as well, when it really mattered. Moeen delivers and Carey on the front foot. Also at the deep point. Gets a single too. So a gentle start from Moeen Ali with the exception of the one that ragged. Carey 53, Khawaja 28. They trail by 75 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sale on now Australia. 5 for 318.
Just going to grab some more beers. Pause it for me? No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. He's about to get his ton. Nah, it'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Our first session is for drink wise. Remember, if you're having a drink, the drink wise. James Anderson into Carey. He's 53. Already one chance off him today outside the off stump, and he thumps it into the covers where Ben Stokes takes a crowd catch. Away to his right, dragged it in. Super bit of fielding, saved 4. The Hollies were up, but it was on the bump ball. Get a second look here for Tyre Power, your tyre experts.
Great stuff.
In fact, he didn't catch it in the end either. He got it to ground.
He's pulling the Jimmy Anderson length though this morning, Flem. I think he senses it.
So Anderson, just the gully behind the wicket, delivers here and carries forward. And collects it in his follow through. So we've got the 2 catching mid-wickets, the 2 catching covers. In the case of the covers, one's right next to the pitch, Zach Crawley. Then a point, mid-off, mid-on, deep backwards square, the only man back. And a conventional point as well.
Yeah, time to come over the wicket. Bring the LBWs into play. He's bowling a nice full length. It's moving enough.
Yeah. He's got him thinking. He's got him to H1, play away from his body a few times.
Carey thumping the bat into the turf, waiting for Anderson, who bowls here and skews it away for 4. Past the diving man, route at gully. And down to the rope it goes. So the first boundary off the bat today takes Carey to 57. Encouraging for Anderson, though. 5 for 322. That was a false stroke. They trail by 71.
It is. And it would have taken a fine catch, but I still think it's quite a lucky dismissal from around the wicket.
Yeah.
And you don't have any slips, and you've got a gully. They're setting him up to get caught, aren't they, in front of the wicket? Whereas I still think coming over and you've still got the angle, you can put in a slip. They're a catching position and gully.
Seeing it on our screen, that was genuine swing. That wasn't wobble seam. Anderson again bowls here to Carey, who's in behind it. Out to Stokes at cover. No run. The partnership now worth 100. 102 from 180 balls. Got Moeen Ali back on screen. Longie's got something on him. Hello, Phil Long.
Yeah, Moeen Ali, the 36th test match at home for him. He's only ever bowled once in an innings here in England, when he bowled 36 overs at Lords against Australia in 2015. He's bowled 30 in this innings now.
Cheers, Longie. Still with plenty of work to do, you suspect, from that Birmingham City end, where there is plenty of turn. Anderson, 2 left in the over, bowls to Carey, inside edge again onto the thigh pad, spills out into the offside. Anderson's very much in the game here. Crowd know it, both Australians know it. This will be a tough little passage.
But also he knows this is his time. He's got a new ball. Early on, it's probably the best swinging conditions. If Australia can get through this first 30, 40 minutes and keep this partnership going, it's going to be tougher for Jimmy later on.
Last ball of his 17th over here. Carey forward defending. So just the edged boundary from the over. Australia trailing by 71 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sale on now, Australia. 5 for 322 with Carey 57, Khawaja 128.
Thirsty Camel here. Win $5, $10 or $20 off your next purchase with Hump Club bonus rewards. 1 in 10 wins. You'll beauty. Grab your favourites like Carlton Dry 24-pack for $53.99 or $48.99 for Hump Club members. Or Wild Turkey 4.8% 10-pack, $48.99 or $43.99 for members. Sign up online or in-store. Membership has its perks. Drink responsibly. Available at selected stores only. T's and C's apply. Ends 9 July. Even camels get thirsty.
SEN Test cricket for Maccas. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe. The 102-run stand, the biggest for Australia in this innings. Overtaking Khawaja and Head, who put on 81 in the middle session yesterday. Green and Khawaja combining for 72. So through the lower middle order, they've done the work that's been required. Phil Long.
Yeah, only the second time Australia have added 100 or more for the 6th wicket here at Edgbaston. The record, Adam Gilchrist and Damien Martin added 160 for the 6th wicket back in 2001.
That was an extraordinary stand. Flem, you would have been here for that as part of the tour group. Moeen Ali bowls to Khawaja for the first time today, and he goes straight back over his head. Khawaja did that at will yesterday. He's given that a ride all the way for 6. Bounces into the sight screen. Khawaja up to 134. 5 for 328.
It's such a beautiful shot. He's done it with so much confidence against Ali in this innings. And what I like is he doesn't try and overstride. He gets a stable bottom half. And he almost delays his top half from coming through. And then, bang, Doesn't try to overhit it. He's just picked up or generated so much power through the ball with a nice check drive, really.
That looked like watching T20 training, Bharat, what they call range hitting, didn't it? The way he held his pose and only had one man to beat, really, the mid-off inside the circle. Looks like they're going to consult the umpires over the ball here, because the ball did hit the concrete in front of the sight screen, so they'll need to have a change of ball here, I'd imagine, because that second new ball, there's a big chunk taken out of it. Get a second look here for tyre power, your tyre experts, and as you say, Flem, committing to it. He did it a lot yesterday against Moeen early in his spell. Not often to go all the way, but to hit him down the ground, along the ground, and picked his moments well.
And just see, he's watching it too. Why wouldn't he? But I just love how stable he is when he meets the ball, and it's so easy. A bit like a golfer, just creating lag with his top half, and just lets the backswing go through. Doesn't try and actually really hit the ball that hard.
So a little impromptu drinks break as they get the ball changed. I can run through some other numbers as well. Khawaja as a test opener was sent through to me by Sky this morning. He's now averaging 69 opening the batting. And if you go through anyone in Test cricket who's done it 20 times or more, that's the best ever. Herbert Sutcliffe, the great English opener, played a lot more Test innings opening, 83 of them, average 61. The leader there, Bruce Mitchell from South Africa, 57, Len Hutton, 56, Jack Hobbs, 56, pretty good names there. And Khawaja is...
The way that's going, he's going to be knighted.
I mean, Khawaja's played 36 innings as an opener for, well, just over 2,000 runs. He was 1,993 before today. That six might have been the one that took him beyond 2,000 runs as a Test opener as well. Some news here coming through from Cricinfo, Flem. Moeen Ali has been fined for a level 1 breach of the ICC Code of Conduct. More to come. From spraying his fingers last night, Jeremy Coney informs us. We saw that dry spray that he had on. A colleague asked me at the back of the box whether I'd seen that before, and I hadn't. Have you guys seen that dry spray used by spinners before? He's bowling here. We're back to where we started. Moeen Ali, first ball of his 31st over has gone the journey. They send mid-off, 3/4 of the way to the rope. Moeen to Khawaja, goes back and defends. Gets one, places it to Stuart Broad at backward point. He's 135. They trail by 63, 5 for 329 Australia.
Yeah, Paul Collingwood did the press conference yesterday. He was asked about the blisters on Moeen Ali's fingers, and he said, this is part and parcel of bowling spin. It also tells you he's not bowled these many overs in years now.
Oh, definitely. I know myself, swing bowling, you get a callus on your middle finger, trying to rip down the back half of the ball.
So it's Carey back on strike. Moeen to him here on the front foot, defending to cover. Phil Long.
Yeah, just to confirm, that six from Usman Khawaja brought up 2,000 runs as a Test opener at an average of around 69 runs.
Glorious set of numbers.
Yeah.
And in terms of his age as well, which is a clear reference point given when he returned to the side. Moeen to Carey, full again, defending. So this is from Nick Savage, picked it up off Twitter. Highest batting average after your 35th birthday, minimum 20 innings. Bradman, of course, always the outlier, 106. Khawaja second at 69.88, which would have ticked over to 70 in this innings. Eddie Painter, 69, famous for his bodyline performances. On the back foot here, Carey, cutting to deep point, getting one. He's 58. He will move the board over to 5 for 330, trailing by 63. Australia had made 19 runs this morning.
I was in the Camden Market, saw a second-hand bookshop. I actually bought Eddie Painter's
book.
Yes.
Brisbane 32.
Wow.
And he's off his, what was it? But I'm sure Daniel will confirm these.
Sydney Barnes, maybe the greatest bowler of all time.
Yeah, this numbers wise.
Incredible. Moeen to finish. Khawaja beaten. That's another one that's turned from that Birmingham City end. Khawaja tried to defend from the crease, but no bat on ball. Well taken by Bairstow. 5 for 330 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sail on now. Khawaja 135, Carey 58.
Just going to grab some more beers. Pause it for me? No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. He's about to get his ton. It'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
SEN Test Cricket for Macca's. Here's to 30 years of the McCafe. For the first time on commentary today, we welcome the great Jeremy Coney, former New Zealand skipper. He's done it all. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? How do you see the first 15 minutes of play?
Be comfortable with praises, Jeremy.
Okay. Never have been. I should be because I don't hear it much. Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing I think you see, while we have a reasonably new ball in the hand of the bowlers, the field says it's subcontinental. One slip wide, about 1, 2, 3, 4 men just in front of the bat catching.
New cover in as well. Anderson bowls new over to Carey. It's defended into the offside. So one of the catching mid-wickets jumped over. So now 3 catching covers plus the gully.
Yeah, it's very reminds me of the Pakistan tour, doesn't it? And certainly that's what I guess England will have to access. They did pretty well there, didn't they? Dropped catch, of course, it's all happened. Big inside edge from Carey. Yeah, it's all happened this morning, and that's going to revisit the old argument again about folks going to keep it bubbling and alive.
I wonder, Jeremy, we'll come back to this after the Anderson delivery. Bowls here and off the back foot. That's Carey class. Just carving behind point. Played from the crease. Both his knees were bent. Made perfect contact. He advances to 62. That's his 9th for Australia. 5 for 334. They trail by 59.
Just before you get back to Jeremy, I've been talking about coming over the wicket, okay? The ball's moving and all that. You know, that takes that shot out. Bazball, for me, the aggression, you know, this is very, you know, snooze ball. Come over the wicket. You might have a square. Keep mid-wicket open and encourage them to hit across the line. You want LBWs.
Absolutely.
Anderson to Carey again. It's Fuller on leg stump. Clipped over mid-wicket for 4 more. Back-to-back boundaries. That wasn't without risk. There was a man in there for the miscue, but over the top he goes, and Carey up to 66. They trail now by 55. They're
but I don't
down at the moment.
Don't think Anderson will be happy with that. That was quite full, and he was able to tuck it away, and there's no cover out there.
There's less margin for error. When you're coming around the wicket, it's easier to whip. If you're coming over and angling across, setting them up there, it is a risk to hit against the line, particularly if it is swinging away.
Bowl too, if it holds up.
I'd have a slip in place. You know, keep mid-wicket open. Encourage them to hit across the line, but you have to come over the wicket.
And Anderson bowling with the change ball as well, remembering the one that was used before was hooping for him. Bowls again here to Carey, and he bowls him! Through the gate, maybe via the inside edge as well. Jimmy Anderson loves it. Test wicket number 686 at a really important time for England. He's been on top of Carey this morning for the most part. Had him dropped in the first over of play. And it's taken a while. It's an important partnership. It's been worth more than 100, but they lose their 6th wicket on 338. They're still well behind England's first innings tally, and Australia do have a long tail. Damien Fleming, perfect from Anderson.
Yeah, well, you stay around the wicket if you're going to bowl deliveries like that. That was the avenue of annihilation for Alex Carey. Just a perfect length. Hit for consecutive 4s. So the legend Jimmy Anderson fights back and knocks over Carey, who was really trying to defend that, and he's been well set. He's played a fine knock. So that's a brilliant delivery and much needed for England. This partnership threatened to get into the positives for the Australians. Still not swinging a lot. That was just a really good line and length and just hitting bail height.
I think that was the length that got it really, and Carey just a tad late actually, as it sort of just came back in to the stumps, looking to play forward, just a forward defensive shot, just a little bit late on it, and the ball snuck through. 66 good innings, but now this tail that we've talked about a bit of diminishing returns.
And Anderson bowls so well to the tail too, and he's got a new ball.
So 118 was the partnership, and we can't underplay just how important that was from where Australia were when they lost Cameron Green yesterday. But yes, it's always been looming that Australia didn't go with Stark, so it's Cummins and 3 batters who on their given day could be number 11s for Australia in Boland, Hazelwood and Lyon all have batted number 11, so a lot riding on how Cummins plays here at 8. So there's still 55 runs in arrears.
That looked like it was supposed to be an away swinger, looking where the rough side was. But just a peach of a length, isn't it? And you're right, Jeremy. He was late on it, so whether it's skidded on a little bit with the new ball, just fantastic ball.
And that celebration from Jimmy Anderson, celebrating another wicket for Tobin Brothers' funeral, celebrating lives. You can see how much every breakthrough means to him this deep into his career, 40 years of age, but can still bowl deliveries like that. I reckon it might have clipped the back pad on the way through as well there. Watching it a second time for tyre power, your tyre experts, Carey bowled for 66.
Yeah, 2 slips in place now.
So all of those catching covers have gone, catching mid-wickets are gone. It's going to be plan A for Cummins.
Well, it's been a while for Anderson, though. This is his 17th over? I can see why that, we'll see why it was a leap.
Gone with a leg slip as well. I'd have a third slipping.
Jimmy Anderson from our pavilion end. First ball for Cummins, back of a length, tries to get out the way of it. Shorter than that again, actually. It was sort of rib height by the time it sailed through. Cummins thrust the bat in the air. And the crowd are involved as well. Always a factor at Birmingham. They take a wicket and they get up and about.
Well, Stuart Broad mentioned in the post-match interview that he wanted to engage the crowd yesterday. And why not use it to your advantage?
Yeah, that was by Anderson standards, a bouncer. You don't see him bowl many bouncers these days, Jimmy. Very different to the guy who started 20 years ago. So two slips a gully and a leg slip. Anderson to Cummins. It's the delivery that comes back to the right-hander defender to extra cover, no single. And he's through the over. James Anderson, just when they needed him. A couple of boundaries, but the big wicket of Carey. Bowled for 66 on the Beaumont Tail scoreboard. Beaumont Tail's huge sail on now, Australia. Trail by 55. They're 6 for 338.
Hey, it's Candy here. As a presenter in the world of sport, I see many powerful performances. Now, thanks to Azito, we're helping power your next DIY project. Did you know Azito's 18-volt range is powered by Einhell? German-designed quality, driving, innovation and performance. So you can power over 85 cordless tool and garden products with the same battery. Azito, powering DIYers all day, every day. Exclusively available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Our coverage here at Birmingham is for Macca's. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe. It's been push and pull across 2 days. Now the 7th session of the Test match, which could be so important here. Can England get on a bit of a roll again, as they did in the first session yesterday, where they took 3 wickets in quick succession? Moeen Ali has turned a couple past Khawaja's outside edge. They resume their battle here. Khawaja 135. Moeen bowls with a slip. Khawaja forward and beating one of the 2 covers. Gives a strike to Cummins from the first delivery of the over. 136 for him. 6 for 339 Australia.
Well, this is the interesting one, isn't it, now to Cummins. And Moeen Ali, we saw the turn that he got to Green yesterday to dismiss him. I don't think you want to take a leg stump. You've got to be closer to the ball. If he's going to be pitching into those foot marks outside, you've got to have a pad, a second line of defence that at least it's not going to, if it goes on, beats the inside edge, there's a pad in line that it's not going to carry through to the stumps. At leg stump, there is that gap because you're too far away from it. Your body's too far away. Get across your stumps a bit more.
And it only sounds a subtle change, but it's significant against the ball spinning in.
So Moeen to the right-handed Cummins for the first time. Close to the stumps, Cummins plays defensively out to mid-wicket. Short leg as well, a slip. And the field all in with the exception of deep mid-wicket. Man round the corner at short fine leg. Mid-on, mid-off, cover, backward point. Moeen again to the Australian captain, who gets forward and just plays from the crease really to cover, no run. And we saw yesterday
it's a vulnerable area, that, isn't it?
If he can get one to rag, that'll be leg before in play for him and go beyond the blade.
Yeah, it's a case of either getting very close to the pitch. I'm not sure whether Cummins will do that, or well back and let it do its work and adjust your shot.
Moeen passes umpire Raza. Cummins floated up full toss and he doesn't take advantage of it. He pats it straight to mid-wicket and the crowd know that's a missed opportunity.
A pat from Pat. A pat from Pat.
It was a pat.
Yeah.
We don't want pat. We want
pat. Yeah, no, we don't.
Pat.
We want bang bang.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't want that either.
Have a look at this, Jeremy.
Ollie Pope's laughing at short leggies. I've got away with one there. Moeen again to Cummins, who goes back and it nearly sneaks through. A It deflects off Bairstow's gloves as well. Maybe some variable bounce. We're behind Cummins. We'll look at it again for tyre power, your tyre experts. Jeremy, what are you seeing here?
Well, it's slightly quicker and slightly shorter. It's onto the back foot, but it gets through.
Edge.
Yeah,
Is that a chance?
I think it might have been an onto the pad of Bairstow. Bairstow up too high.
He's nowhere near it with his gloves. Moeen bowls and Cummins lunges forward. That's much better. In defence to cover. Completes the over. Cummins yet to score. Kawaja. 136, 100 overs bowled. Australia 6 for 339 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Huge Shale on now.
Beaumont Tiles is proudly sponsoring Test Cricket's World Cup final by hitting a 6 with their massive bathroomware catalogue sale. How's this? Vanities, basins, baths, loos and even tapware are all slashed by up to 25% off. Plus, get up to 25% off all tiles. That's another 6 for Beaumont's. Head into one of over 110 stores around the country and save up to 25% on bathroomware and tiles. You'll be happy you chose Australia's #1 Beaumont Tiles.
Our first session is brought to you by Drinkwise. Remember, if you're drinking to Drinkwise, our delivery of the day so far, James Anderson going through Carey for 66, bowling a middle stump. That's for Macca's. Order via McDelivery on the My Macca's app. Anderson to continue his spell on. Why wouldn't he, Flem? Conditions perfect for him. Bit of cloud cover again to Kawaja. Field spread. Deep point out. Bowls here. Kawaja leaves alone. Outside the off stump. Butson movement into the gloves of Bairstow.
Nice and full. He wouldn't say no to a single here. Get Pat Cummins down there. It's interesting with Pat Cummins. Just looking up. After 22 tests, he averaged 20.71.
He was okay.
So that... At number 8, you beauty. If you're averaging 20, that is excellent. But we now look that his average is down to 15.6. So in his 51st test match. And a lot of it for me is indecision. You asked me how he plays spin. I'm unsure. I think he's forgot to actually put the bad ball away.
He had a chance to put it away, didn't he?
Anderson delivers and Kawaja from the middle stump line turns it out to deep square leg. One of 2 men set back in that direction. With the single, he's 137. Australia 6 for 340.
Whereas we know with Nathan Lyon, okay, he'll hook and pull the quicks.
Yeah.
If he gets a half volley, he'll put it away and he'll sweep the spin.
I think that's right.
So I know with Nathan Lyon there is a method to his batting. With Paddy, it's hard to think of a feature shot, isn't it?
Well, Jeremy and I were at Gaul last year when he was really hitting hard over cow corner.
Yeah.
And he's done that in the IPL. He's got a 16 ball 50 in that comp. Feels like he's better when he's really going for it. He's facing Anderson here. 2 slips and the leg slip. Facing up, it's full and straight and defended out to mid-on. But he has also played long innings for Australia as well, thinking about Cape Town 2018 when everything was going wrong. He was able to put a long shift in there.
Yeah, I mean, his strike rate's low. It's 40. And normally when you think of fast bowlers, you know, they are hitters. So it is a balance. But I've talked a bit with Cam Green. T20 cricket, well, it forces you to hit the ball. You know, if there's a set total, but I think in a test match, you've still got to have some intent or some plan of what your game's going to be about scoring.
Anderson bowls and Cummins defends from the stickers of the bat, back of the length on the front foot to extra cover.
Just balance for him too there. He's not balanced in that forward defensive stroke. He's moving, the back foot's coming around after, and he's almost walking after he's hit the ball, where he's intercepted the ball. He looks a little bit more comfortable, I'd say, to the quicker man than he does to the spin. I think if there was a chance, you can't work it out this way, but if Kawaja could take Moeen Ali a little bit more, I think there's more threat involved there in Moeen Ali for someone like Cummins.
Anderson, smooth approach, wider of the crease, bails back of the length to Cummins, who steers it through the gully. Times it pretty well. Might go for 4. Work to do here for the fielder. That's Harry Brook. He will reach it in time. They return for a third. Kawaja to the danger end, to the extent there is one, through comfortably for that third run. 6 for 343. Cummins off the mark with it. They trail by an even 50.
Just saw on Crick Info here, Carey's dismissal, Anderson's 1100th first-class wicket.
Wow. He took his 1,000th.
In the old days, that happened. But the modern-day player, wow.
He took his 1,000th first-class wicket a couple of years ago against Kent at Old Trafford. He took 7 for 19 in that innings. And he didn't even know. He didn't know his 5th wicket was his 1,000th, and someone had to tell him. They put it on the big screen at his home ground there. He was,
Glenn McGrath could take you through their 1,000. If he got there.
So could Paddles.
And Paddles.
Richard New.
Anderson to Kawaja. Plays so smoothly defensively. In contrast to Cummins, he's got all the time in the world, and that will be the end of the over. There'll be a change in commentary after the break. Fleming and I are jumping out. Jarrod, Kimber and Daniel Norcross jumping in. 6 for 343 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sale on there. Cummins 3, Khawaja 137.
So my boy Adam, he come home with all these bags of shopping. I said, what are you, millionaire? He says it was good bargain. Good bargain? Kogan mobile prepaid plan is bargain. Unlimited talk, text, and 10 gigs of data for $15 a month. My boy wouldn't know bargain if it called him on phone and said, hello, I'm bargain. Talk about a bargain? Get one at koganmobile.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Test cricket on SEN with Maccas. Here's to 30 years of McCafe. I'm Daniel Norcross, Jeremy Coney and Jarrod Kimber in the house. The cloud cover is getting a little thicker. As Moeen Ali starts a new over, slip forward, short leg. Cummins gets a full toss. Richie Larraps high in the air, out over deep mid-wicket. It's gone all the way. For a moment, fielder was interested. It was a ball of shocking ineptitude, and it was given the treatment it deserved.
It's the second one, isn't it? I thought I'd hear the flighted filth come out from you, but it was a wee bit, wasn't it?
It's the second time he's bowled this, and I'm wondering if his fingers
how the fingers going. Yeah. And you do know about that he has been fined.
Well, don't take our best material, Jeremy.
No, we've already mentioned it. It was mentioned before, yeah.
Have you actually read out the statement?
Well, I don't. Look, you're not allowed to do it without asking the umpire.
Short, pushed into the back foot.
If you're going to apply something to your fingers, which clearly he hasn't bowled very much recently, and certainly not with the red ball. And the Duke's ball does have quite a prominent seam.
And he had problems with those fingers in Australia as Cummins punches off the back foot up to mid-on. There's no run, didn't he? He split his finger in the, I want to say 2017-18. Ashes, and it never got any better, did it?
To be honest, most finger spinners have it almost all the way through their career, don't they? It's a very common thing.
Yeah. He's in once more, 2 or 3 paces. Cummins goes big. It's gone high down the ground, and that has gone all the way up to the sight screen. A second 6 for Cummins. That was less of a gift. That wasn't just a full toss. That was a half volley. The 350 comes up, 6 for 355.
I think, I hope this isn't trouble for Moeen Ali. He really is struggling getting a length and letting the ball go at his end and getting it right so it's okay at the other. Of course, I'm talking about the application of a spray he had yesterday out on the boundary, which was put to him out there, which dries that whole finger and the sore and the scab up.
Yeah, I've got other theories as well.
Yeah, well, you may have. I'm quite accustomed to those, or the other ones.
We'll hear them all over the course of the
sure.
next 10 or 15 minutes. So Moeen Ali under the pump here. Cummins has got Australia to within 38. He comes forward and defends a better delivery on off stump. The ball rolls up to mid-off where Anderson will do the fielding. It's getting ever greyer and ever more muggy. There is not yet a sepulchral field, but we're getting not far off it.
Is it that dark?
And once more, flatter, pushed off the back foot. Into the covers, end of the over on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sail. Australia 6 for 355.
Just going to grab some more beers. Pause it for me? No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. He's about to get his ton. It'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
SEN Test Cricket with McCafe celebrating 30 years of coffee fit for an Aussie. Now, between overs, we saw Moeen Ali jogging off. He's now going up to the changing room, and we've also seen Stuart Broad warming up. So I think Moeen's going to take a blow here, and he's just showing his hand to Paul Collingwood. So it's not in a great state. As Anderson is in to Khawaja, who drives elegantly into the offside. Robinson moves to his right from mid-off to field. They get a single, 6 for 356.
Well, that's a battle, I mean, really, for England. That if he can't bowl, even if he can't, if he doesn't, he can go out there and have an attempt, of course, but if he can't feel comfortable to get the ball down there with enough revs on it to get some turn. I mean, the spinners, how many overs have they bowled together in these 2 innings? I mean, it's extraordinary. Now, that's going to really hurt England.
He's bowled more overs yesterday than he bowled in the entirety of the IPL.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And that's going to be an issue for you, isn't it, if you're not used to
Well,
it?
if they can't use... They've got Root, of course.
Anderson into Cummins. Cummins defends stoutly on the front foot to a full delivery.
Not
just
the
picked
same.
up a mid-off by Stokes. There's no run.
Root's fine in the 4th innings, but if they don't get a wicket here soon, there's a problem. I think Phil had something.
Yeah, Moeen Ali, these are now his most expensive figures in England. 247, and only once has he bowled more overs in an innings when he bowled 36 at Lords against Australia in 2015.
So Ashes, question mark, lol. Yeah. Oh, no, I meant it. Come along, have a game. Now bowl more overs than you've ever bowled in your life.
Split your
back of not having played for 2 years. Doesn't feel quite
Mega
fair,
lols.
does it? Yeah, mega lols. Yeah. Absolutely. Poor old Mo. 2 slips, gully. Cover point, mid-off. Anderson in, and that's edgy, but guided nicely down through backward points, running away towards the boundary, as is Harry Brook in eager pursuit. His hat stays on. He turns and throws. 2 more agree for the total. Cummins to 17, Australia to 6 to 358.
So the callus situation means that there's nothing they're going to be able to do to actually stop that callus on his finger.
Callus, yes, not Jack Callus.
Not Jack Callus.
No, Jack.
So it will be on the inside of his finger, and it will have opened up. And for those who don't know, off spinners particularly have gone to big lengths to be able to harden the skin around their fingers, including weeing on it, which Jeremy Coney is now imitating.
Richie Benno used to stick his hand in a bucket of urine.
A lot of old spinners used to do that, but they now believe. By the way, that doesn't work. I did some science.
Anderson in, and thick edge squirts out into the offside. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's keep our eyes on the game. It's a single once more as Stokes has to move from mid-off.
Yeah, so because baseball pitchers used to do it as well. So someone actually went in and did the science, and it doesn't harden your skin at all. You're just putting your finger in urine at that point.
And you can't presumably put a covering.
No, you
on
can't.
there.
Can't put a covering on it?
No.
And then also there are things as well. Bryce McGain once went for a swim with the callus, and of course seawater opens it up even more.
Does it?
Sometimes when you're using knives and forks, you can jolt it open as well. It's a really hard thing, but most fingers can.
Is that better?
I don't know about the spork. Maybe just have everything from a straw, or your food from a straw.
Well, I've done that a few times. Yeah. As Anderson is into Khawaja, no slips in place, just a gully. He drives the short mid-off. We've now got a very subcontinental field with a lot of catchers in front of the wicket.
But the point is that most finger spinners in the world bowl with those calluses. But it's a bit like, if you're a guitar player, you have the hard fingers.
Yeah.
In fact, that Jeremy Coney, the guitar player beside us, has. Off spinners have that. If you're not bowling regularly, you don't have that. And it's when it comes up from nowhere. That's what happened to Bryce McGain. That's what's happening to Moeen Ali here. If the callus is happening in the middle of the game, there's almost nothing you can do other than owie.
Anderson in. That's dabbed into the offside, to the covers. There'll be no run. Cummins will be on strike at the start of the next over. Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sale. Read 6 to 359.
What type of Snap Fitness member are you?
I want to be able to find a routine that I'll stick to and then really work on staying active more often. So I'm wanting more step-by-step support and guidance.
I'm looking to build health and well-being into my lifestyle, but too often I take a quick fix and fail. So I want help to stay on track with smaller, achievable goals.
Need a regular routine? It all begins at snapfitness.com.au. Snap Fitness helps members feel supported and encouraged. Snap Fitness. Get moving.
Test cricket on SEN with Maccas. Here's the Curtain Years Cafe. So Moeen is, as we suspected, out of the attack. He's not on the ground at the moment. Well, he's not on the field of play. Stuart Broad is going to come into the attack. And we've had some texts. Thank you for your texts. You may well have seen Jeremy Coney himself imploring you in song to text 8833 if you're in New Zealand and Australia. 0433 98 11.
I'm hoping that'll be the end of my whatever you call
singing
it career. Yeah, well, no.
Are you just trying to get out? You're trying to get out of the morning
every
one,
morning one. Every much relentless.
I urge you to check out the SEN Twitter feed.
Don't.
It's like he has the sound,
They'll ruin
the sound of a nightingale. We've got somebody got texts. Anonymous one here. Listening from under the Paul Rifle Tower. Come on, boys. Well, they're coming on pretty well. And just knocked off 7 Ks on the inclined treadmill.
7 Ks?
Listening.
That's what you mean.
As I grab some, I do not. Listening as I grab some food, all the while listening then with the TV. Tony in Warrnambool, age 55, bowlologist is a spring chicken.
Warrnambool, we all love Warrnambool. That's their song, Tony. Warrnambool, we all love Warrnambool.
Well, I'll try and fit that in.
Yeah, maybe you can get that on your song. If you do another song tomorrow, you can just pop Warrnambool on the end.
It's Broad, his first ball of the day. Can he keep his feet on the line? And he's in to Cummins. Cummins again gets a thick outside edge. It squirts the backward point. They'll get through for a single. Where the diminutive Duckett, we haven't seen a great deal of him in the field. I mean, you seldom do see a great deal of him because there's a great deal to see. But what you do see is seldom near the ball. But on this occasion, he was fortunate enough to pick it up and throw it in.
I just want to finish on the ointment on the hand that Moen had.
Yeah.
I am positive in this particular case it might have had something to do with pain relief, but it also, a lot of spinners around the world now are using what they call in baseball sticky stuff.
Sticky stuff,
which is different ointments and different things to put on your fingers to get more revolutions on the ball, to get more spin. You saw Ravi Jadeja with an ointment in the test match against Australia.
Certainly did.
And I contacted the ICC about this, and I said, look, cricket is already talking about this, so I know it's happening. And they all watch baseball, and baseball just went through this. Baseball now, before you go out to pitch, Jeremy, they pat you down like you're at airport security to check you for sticky stuff on you. And so I said that to the ICC, and they went, we don't think that's happening. I think you might find it is.
Broad is round the wicket to Khawaja. Seldom a great line of attack, and he defends this delivery, pushes it to the offside error to Khawaja.
So is it just like a second skin?
No, it's not. It's like it's depending on where you get it. You can get it. It's the sort of stuff that pole dancers use so they can stay on the pole, or it's the sort of stuff that weightlifters use.
I love the fact you know so much about what's required in a pole.
Yeah.
Do you sniff around a pole dancer's bag, checking out what's in there a lot?
I've done a lot of research into
research on the pole dancer.
I've done a lot of research into sticky stuff, and that was the bit that I remembered.
Yeah, right. Broad. It's Khawaja again, plays late, pushes it to the offside, just in front of square. And that's sealed it by Stokes.
You might remember this. Simon Harmer, playing in a county game, had white hands at one stage, and people suspected it might have been the weightlifter's chalk.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that spinners have been putting on. And if you have a look at where Jadeja put his stuff, of course, that was in the perfect situation. It would be for Moeen Ali as well.
I think it would work really well and might go undetected.
Marmite.
No, well, that's usually my answer.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
I use it for cramp. But no. Do you ever have cold sores?
Really, no.
No, well, I'll tell you, a great remedy for some cold sores. As Broad is in, and that's it. Just turning Khawaja around ever so slightly. Pushes into the offside. There's no run, but they can happen at any time.
I'm all ears, Dan. I'm a cold sore.
Are you all ears?
So
there's a little membrane that once you feel the cold sore coming, the tingle, you stick this little membrane and it's flesh coloured and it goes over the lip and it's undetectable. And it essentially covers the cold sore, as well as having it has the active ingredients.
Yeah.
It's a Virax, it's often known as. And you wouldn't be able to see it. So if you've got a large one of them and stuck that over the gaping wound, you'd be able to see the wound, but you wouldn't necessarily see the covering. As Broad is in, it's a nice, elegant shot from Khawaja, slightly on the walk, but pushed back past the bowler. Won't get a run as it's fielded at mid-on.
Can you feel it?
Can you feel it?
Like if I was to touch your lip, if you had a cold sore and I touched your lip, would I feel the covering?
You'd find it, it's like a film.
Because what I suggested to the ICC was if bowlers are spinning the ball a lot, you just shake their hands after every ball that spins a lot, rather than patting them down like the baseballs, which is a bit over the top. I don't know if we want to molest our spinners.
Well, I'll tell you why you wouldn't feel it in that case. As Broad is in, Khawaja drives again nicely up to mid-on. You'll have to wait till the next over, because that is the end of the over. Australia is 6 for 3-6-0.
I would say the song that kind of represents my life is Life on a Highway.
Staying Alive by Bee Gees.
Probably a Celine Dion song.
I'd definitely have the Beatles.
24/7, 365. It's about enjoying absolutely every day.
Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed-price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change, and your life will be celebrated your way. Get to know the team at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Test cricket on SEN with McCafe celebrating 30 years of coffee fit for an Aussie. So the thing about shaking your hand is that the membrane will be on the
inside.
On the knuckle. So if you shake my hand, you're not feeling
so
that.
I would have to molest your fingers.
You know, we do regularly.
Yeah,
anyway.
so I would have to.
Would you just stop us in front of me?
If I would have to separate your fingers like this.
That's right.
And then really get my fingers around it.
Yeah, just like this.
You'd really have to get your fingers into the callus a little bit at that point as well, wouldn't you?
And that would start to seem a little invasive.
Yeah. Especially if the off-spinners, used the urine method.
Yeah, you might think twice. Yeah, very much so.
I'm glad
This must be
reached.
lovely.
I hope we've reached the
Should we
end.
should we play Jeremy Coney's song now?
I hope you've finished eating back at home in Australia. Get those texts in. 8833 in New Zealand. 0433 98 11 16 in Australia. As Anderson starts a new over. He's been bowling all day. Cummins is in. And another slightly edgy shot played off the back foot through backward point. No run. Another anonymous text. It says, been great from Carey, but absolute quality from Anderson. As an Australian, this is the Ashes we want to see. The women's Ashes, of course, starts soon. There's that as well to get our teeth into.
You're working for that one, aren't you?
Yeah, 5-day test match at Trent Bridge. Sold a lot of tickets, record ticket
Yeah,
sales.
it's great, isn't it?
This year. And there's a game here at Edgbaston. I think they said it was sold out. And this is the legacy of the Commonwealth Games that was played here last year, wasn't it? When they got really big crowds, actually, for a lot of neutral matches.
Well, I saw Alyssa Healy after Australia won the World Test Championship. She went out on the ground to talk to the grounds staff.
Anderson into Cummins, who guides this to backward point, but can't beat the fielder. Slow run. Stuck it again. He's suddenly getting a lot of the action.
It was quite a funny moment because she went out with Mitchell Starc, and obviously she said to, can we go out and we talk to the groundsman? Yeah. And she went out, and he was watering one of the practice facilities.
Mitchell Starc?
No, the groundsman, sorry. And there were two of them there, and they had their beer, and they were celebrating. But I did feel that, I think the game that the Australian women are playing there is in July. And I think the answer might be, I don't know what wicket you're going to have. It's a long way away. And she obviously kept asking or wanted more details. And the groundsman just didn't seem that interested.
Now we've got a catching point as Cummins gets a little leg side of the ball and pushes off the back foot into the covers. This is interesting. So England have decided, having looked at the way Cummins is batting here, he's played a lot of balls off the outside half of his bat. And a lot of them have squirted through either backward point or square of the wicket. So now, this isn't a gully. This is a guy who's standing almost dead square. What would you say? Maybe a yard behind square?
Yeah, you can see he's just off the edge of the strip, so he's maybe 2 metres behind square?
Yeah, probably there. In a catching position.
Square gully?
Anderson in, and Cummins gets behind this a bit better and pushes off the back foot to Stokes in the covers. He's a straighter cover, and there's no run.
Yeah, he's a fascinating batter, Pat Cummins, because we've seen some of the knocks he's played in T20. Yeah, so
50 off.
I saw him.
15 balls.
I saw him almost win. He might have even won the game for Sydney Thunder, maybe 2017, 2018, and then we've seen him in Kolkata do similar things. And then he comes to Test cricket and he does the opposite. And he does, to me, profile very much as a batter who learnt against ball machine and throwdowns.
Anderson is in to him, and he plays this nicely off the front foot. No power in it. The ball's easily retrieved by Lurch. Zach Crawley. Point.
So I wonder if that 5-year period where he's out of the game, he just spent an inordinate amount of time against the throwdowns and the ball machines, because he was rehabbing for all those years, right? And I wonder if that has kind of limited the top end of his batting. But he's a beautiful hitter when he just swings through the line, because he's probably used to the ball coming on.
Just sort of replay on our replay stream with Tyre Power, your tyre experts, and there's really nothing in this pitch at the moment as Anderson is in, and that is played nicely off the back foot to the left of Stokes at extra cover, and they'll be able to amble through for a couple of runs at the end of the over on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sale. Australia 6 for 362.
Polaris Ranger has been the #1 selling utility side by side for over 20 years. With over 15 models to choose from, petrol, diesel or electric, from 2-seat single cab to 6-seat dual cab. Introducing the all-new mid-size Ranger SP530, replacing the popular Ranger 500. New chassis, improved engine performance and deeper tub. And the new 2023 Ranger Northstar, featuring a full sealed cab, heater, aircon and defrost. See the new Rangers online now or visit your local Polaris expert today. Polaris, think outside.
Test cricket on SEN with McCafe celebrating 30 years of coffee fit for an Aussie. This Broad is going to continue with Australia now just 31 in arrears.
They showed Gladstone Small. Was this his home ground? Was he Warwickshire?
He was a Warwickshire player. Yeah, he was. Charming man. He often has tour groups he takes around.
Yeah, he does a lot of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
A lot of stuff for charity as well. Picked up a fifer at the MCG, didn't he, in '86? Broad is in advancing. Is Khawaja. It's a long way down, actually, about 2 or 3 yards by the time he addressed that ball.
How would you
defend it to mid-on?
To a younger viewer or a younger listener who's never seen Gladstone Small, how would you explain his action and his shoulders?
Yeah, very hard, really.
He didn't have a neck, did he?
Well, if any of you are familiar with Doctor Who, there's a kind of Doctor Who enemy called the Sontaran. And
so I wanted you to explain this to the younger people, and you've got...
That's like... I have a goddaughter who's obsessed with Doctor Who, and she's 14. Is that young enough for you? How far young do I have to go? Broad in, defended by Khawaja at the offside. There's no run. It's sci-fi nonsense swivel, isn't it, that people like? And I find it mildly diverting myself.
Sci-fi itself is timeless, isn't it? So
it is timeless. My wife won't let me watch it. She thinks anything that's said in the future is silly. Anything said in the past is silly. We can
only watch things in the present.
Yes, and ideally if there's...
live stream documentary.
Well, sewing competitions seem to be her thing.
Wow, damn, that's not silly, is it?
That's not at all silly, apparently.
You love watching those sorts of things.
I have to learn to. Yep. As Broad is in to the left-handed. Khawaja bouncer. And, well, Khawaja's on his bottom. It wasn't actually threatening his head, but he just got a little bit unbalanced by evading the ball and ended up pirouetting and falling down a bit like a weeble. For those of you who are old enough to remember, weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Well, in this case, Khawaja did, and that looked a little bit like a no ball as well. And I don't think it's been called yet.
What?
There's problem brewing if he picks up another wicket with a no ball.
They're not calling them all. It's very clear. Right. We saw it with Cummins in the World Test Championship as well. Here's Broad again, round the wicket to Khawaja, who lets it go by outside the off stump. This is a line of attack that is not recommended by the sages in the SEN box. Bharat Sundaresan doesn't approve, and the stats bear him out. But well,
he's quite comfortable with the right arm round the wicket.
I think I did the stats yesterday, and there's 30 left-handers who faced a good amount of balls in Test cricket over the last 10 years, and there's 7 who prefer you to bowl around the wicket to them. 3 of them happen to be Australians: Travis Head, Usman Khawaja, and Alex Carey.
Right, they bowled around the wicket to them.
They bowled around the wicket to them quite a bit.
Now Duckett is taking his titchy frame in from deep square leg up into the ring to save one with 2 balls left in the over. Catching cover, almost catching mid-wicket as Broad is in, pulled to Duckett, who moves nimbly to his right. To field, we're in the first session here of the 3rd day, our first session with Drinkwise, remember, if drinking, drink wise. Cummins 21, Khawaja immovable. It doesn't help if you bowl him off a no ball.
They haven't dropped him though, have they?
They haven't dropped him.
I mean, Bairstow hasn't dropped him, and Bairstow's really...
He's due one then. Yeah. Bairstow's got no slips for company at all now. Roots out of the gully. There's a backward point, catching cover, and slightly deeper cover, mid-wicket, square leg. Broad into Khawaja. Last ball of the over. Worked in the air momentarily to lurch Zach Crawley at mid-wicket, and there's no run. End of the over. Australia 6-2.
Beaumont Tiles is proudly sponsoring Test Cricket's World Cup final, and I'd like to bowl you over with these Beaumont bargains. Coming at us at top speed is their monster bathroom wear catalogue sale, packed with everything at up to 25% off. Vanities, baths, shower screens, and even the kitchen sink, and yes, up to 25% off Australia's biggest tile range. Well, that's bowled me over, up to 25% off all bathroom wear and tiles. You'll be happy you chose Australia's #1 Beaumont Tiles.
Test cricket on SEN with McCafe, celebrating 30 years of coffee fit for an Aussie. Anderson's out of the attack, and Robinson is going to replace him, who's not found this pitch to his liking. Would that be safe to say, Jarrod Kimber, who's alongside Daniel Norcross?
Yeah, I think him and Scott Boland are probably the 2 that are least suited by this wicket.
Yeah, but
Which tells you
this wasn't in the plan, was it, when they began this series?
I think if England knew it was going to be like this, they would have picked Mark Wood, right? So.
Well, I wonder that. I mean, there is an alternative way of looking at it, which is it's so slow that you're flogging Mark Wood when you've got limited test matches for him. So
it wouldn't be like England to flog a bowler until they were really injured. How is Moeen's finger going?
Yeah.
What happened to Jofra Archer?
Yeah. Now you've got an immovable Khawaja.
An immovable Khawaja. Since the start of 2022, Usman Khawaja's had 4 test innings of more than 300 balls faced.
Woof.
No other player has got more than 2 innings in that same period.
Well, he's been the man. Here is Robinson's first ball of the day. And Cummins gets a thick inside edge. Well, maybe being a bit unfair, but he's guided that down to a long leg. Well, Moeen Ali's back on the field. I wonder what they've done to that finger. Are you allowed a transplant during the game?
As far as I'm aware, no. Who are the players with the 2?
Abdullah Shafiq, Pakistan. Brathwaite of West Indies. Usman Khawaja's got 4, as we mentioned. Labuschagne 2. Angelo Matthews of Sri Lanka. And that's it.
The good thing about Brathwaite being on that list is he might have only made 60 in some of those knocks.
Well, how many balls did you say?
300.
300.
Very well, there you go. Tom Sibley laughs at your 300.
Yes.
And he raises you 411 or something by the end, wasn't it? As Robinson is around the wicket to Khawaja, the not ideal line, and you know what, he's just tucked away easily to deep square leg. In front of square, Khawaja picks up another run. Unflappable Khawaja moves to 139. Cummins back on strike.
Talking about other batters who've made runs recently, Najmal Shanto making the twin hundreds. He has gone from probably the worst batter in international cricket to a star.
I'm not having that. The worst batter in international cricket is Ebadot Hussain, but I suppose you mean actual.
Oh no, I mean of a specialist. Yeah, Ebadot Hussain is quite funny.
He's very funny.
He really struggled, Shanto, and it's great to see him make a bunch of runs against Afghanistan. He made some against England too.
Robinson to Cummins, driving nicely, but can't beat Stokes. Just a little fumble while fielding, but prevents the single. Head off.
I talked to Marnus Labuschagne at the press conference a week out from the World Test Championship about why Ollie Robinson is so good.
Oh, yeah.
And he said one of the main skills that he has over other bowlers is we know about the accuracy and the height and the skills, but he said he uses the crease a lot better. Most of the balls.
Little movements either side. Yeah?
That last ball, it was almost a no ball. He came from so wide.
Interesting. See it again. A little tighter on this occasion, certainly, and coming to this, feet pointing down the wicket, defends stoutly up to Broad at mid-on.
I would say there is a metre difference from the release points on those last 2 balls.
Yeah.
One, he was right up against which I always get the creases mixed up. Return crease?
And return, yes.
Right up against that, and this one he was right up against the stumps. So he does jump around quite a bit.
I have that problem. I don't know why. It's so simple. There's only 2.
Yeah,
why can't we just remember them? Yeah, I know. Robinson is in again. This is tucked up to mid-on where Broad fields. There's a reason. The popping crease. It's called the popping crease because you used to pop your bat in it, didn't you? That was the idea.
That was where you put it for the run, yeah.
Yeah, there was a little, almost like a docket or something. Shove your bat in.
Was that when we didn't call them runs? They would have been notches then.
Notches, yeah. Right, Drinks is coming up. 1 ball to go till Drinks. And you'd say it's been Australia's morning again, notwithstanding the loss of Alex Carey. Added 53 runs and Khawaja's still there. Cummins faces up and works the last ball of the first hour out to deep square leg. A single will be taken. Australia will go into Drinks on 6 for 365.
Bounce, dribble, spin, putt, kick, tackle, cheer, and you could score with IMAR by winning a sports membership of your choice worth up to $1,500. To enter, get an easy insurance quote from IMAR's expert brokers, the teammates of every tradie. Jump online at imar.com.au or call 13IMAR and use the code IMARWIN. They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR. T's and C's apply. Beaumont
Beaumont Tiles is proudly sponsoring Test Cricket's World Cup final by hitting a 6 with their massive bathroomware catalogue sale. How's this? Vanities, basins, baths, loos, and even tapware are all slashed by up to 25% off. Plus, yes, plus, get up to 25% off all tiles. That's another 6 for Beaumont. Head into one of over 110 stores around the country and save up to 25% on bathroomware and tiles. You'll be happy you chose Australia's #1, Beaumont Tiles.
Polaris end of financial year deals are on now with great savings across the range. Get $1,000 free accessories on the 2-seat Ranger 570, the 3-seat Ranger Northstar and the 6-seat Ranger Northstar Crew. Get $2,000 free accessories on the upgraded 23 Ranger Diesel and a whopping $3,000 free accessories on the Ranger XP 1000. On top of that, finance is also available to approved purchases at a 6.99% rate. Don't miss out. See your local Polaris dealer. Polaris. Think outside.
And he bowls him! Through the gate, maybe by the inside edge as well. Jimmy Anderson loves it. Test wicket, number 686. At a really important time for England. He's been on top of Carey this morning for the most part. Had him dropped in the first over of play. And it's taken a while. It's an important partnership. It's been worth more than 100, but they lose their 6th wicket on 338. They're still well behind England's first innings tally, and Australia do have a long tail. Damien Fleming, perfect from Anderson. SEN Test cricket for Maccas. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe. Australia were 5 for 311 at the resumption. They're now 6 for 365. You heard there the wicket of Alex Carey, knocked over by James Anderson for 66. Some piece of bowling that through the gate, round the wicket. Reminiscent of the delivery that Stuart Broad bowled to Usman Khawaja late yesterday that was chalked off when he overstepped. Khawaja still there on 139, and Cummins has started well. He's on 23. This pair have put on 27 from 50 deliveries. Our session is for Drinkwise. Remember, if you're drinking, to Drinkwise. And the Anderson wicket was the Macca's I'm loving it moment of the first hour of play. It's a new season for the McSpicy range at Macca's. Bharat Sundaresan jumps in with me. Good morning, Baz.
Good morning, Adam Collins. And just looking out, see Moeen Ali, Joe Root and Jimmy Anderson just discussing how Moeen Ali could potentially hold the ball now with whatever fingers he has left to put on the ball. And there were some suggestions from Joe Root, maybe holding it between the middle finger and the ring finger like a leggy.
This is exactly what happened in 2019, by the way. You might remember, Baz, that Moeen got torn apart on the Sunday of the Birmingham Test match, but as we learnt later, his finger was in huge strife and he just couldn't land it, and Smith and Wade and Head took advantage of that on a bumper day for Australia that set up a famous victory here. And look, that was always the risk of playing Moeen, having only been involved in 20-over cricket for the last year or so, not having played red ball cricket for nearly 2 years, that you're asking a lot of a guy to bowl long spells when he hasn't built up, as Jarrod and Daniel were discussing before, the resilience in the spinning finger. It's definitely part of it. Stuart Broad to continue from the Birmingham City end into Pat Cummins, slipping a gully the catches in swinger. And Cummins leaves it alone. Throw about the 4th stump line into the gloves of Bairstow, who dropped a catch this morning, his 3rd best chance of the innings.
And not the first overreaction of the day from Stuart Broad. Put his hand to head and turned around as if it went over the off stump. But yeah, we saw Moeen Ali from the back of the box, Adam, in his last over, almost trying to spin his off breaks with his index finger.
You can't get away with that. When you turn in the doorknob at Test level, you're going to get clouted. You need to have faith in your grip, if you like. Broad's got the catching mid-wicket as well. Bowls to Cummins, another in-swinger. Maybe wobble seam. Either way, it's patted down the pitch by Pat, no run.
Just one of my random drinks break observations. I've been obsessed with the Australian cricketers' obsession with snakes. Sugar hit while they're out on the field. I saw them in India. And Pat Cummins, there's something so neat and careful about everything that Pat Cummins does.
Keen to learn more about this. Broad in the headband. Clouds are back out. Delivers here to Pat Cummins. A little bit fuller. Defended to cover.
So I've seen some of the other players, like the sugar candies or lollies are brought to them just in a little bag, in a Ziploc bag. But him, it was in a lovely cute Tupperware box. He's the one who opened it, picked out only the red ones. I saw 4 red ones go into his mouth, and then closely, neatly. And this is while he's out there still padded up. Made sure the Tupperware box was closed nicely. I think maybe that's his private lot of snakes.
This is part of his private collection. Here's Broad. In again, slip in the gully, delivers to Cummins out the way of a bouncer. Was able to sway in underneath that early. The crowd are interested because it's a short ball, but nothing in it on a slowish surface. The level of detail that you're able to capture, Baz, watching through the binoculars as you always are. So the confectionery that used to get brought out during Shield games became a big talking point on a broadcast we were making a number of years ago now, when Dirk Nannis revealed that when fielding, they would get the red frogs out,
right,
and they would use that to obviously try and load up the ball, as was the custom pre-2018. Here is Broad, closer to the stumps. Nicely played by Cummins, opening up the blade at the deep backward point. Ben Duckett does the fielding in front of the Hollies. They get a single. Cummins to 24. Australia 6 for 3, 66, 27 runs away from parity. So yes, it's not the first time we've seen confectionery from that particular brand brought out onto the field. We won't give them a free plug. Maybe they can come on and sponsor us an SEN Test Cricket next week. Maybe they can sponsor Jeremy Coney's videos before play.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
His surrealist video. Phil Long's laughing in the back of the box. He's charged with the responsibility of filming these things.
He said to me, "I'm going to sing it."
That's on the SEN Z feed. Jeremy has a certain way about him. We were singing last night, actually.
All right, and he's the man with the sweetest tongue.
Yes.
In this commentary box.
It's a nice falsetto too. Broad over the wicket to Khawaja, now batting in the short sleeve jumper. To the offside, ends the over. 27 behind Australia on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. They're 6 for 3, 66. Khawaja 139, Cummins 24.
Just going to grab some more beers. Pause it for me? No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. He's about to get his ton. It'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You've got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
SEN Test Cricket for Maccas. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe. Adam Collins, Bharat Sundaresan with you, and it's Ollie Robinson starting his 19th over. Slipper, gully, catching mid-wicket, bowls to Cummins, down the leg side, helps it down to fine leg for one. Single from the first ball of the over. 25 very useful runs. It's been a feature of Australia's lower middle order. There have been partnerships all the way down. They've never been able to go bang, bang, with the exception of what they did in the first session yesterday. 6 for 367 now the score. So the partnerships, if you run through them, as I will, have gone 38. Felt like a lot more than that because Smith and Khawaja at the time were under the pump before lunch yesterday. 81, 72, 118, and this is now up to 29. It's an important partnership too because, well, not much to come, truth be told. Robinson loses to slip for Khawaja. Picked up the short sleeve jumper during the drinks break, patting it out to cover, no run. Yes, we had, as mentioned before the break, we had Jeremy Coney singing last night, as he is wont to do when we were leaving where we had dinner and a couple of glasses of wine. Yes, he has an encyclopedic knowledge of the Beatles back catalogue. You can put on any obscure, but not that any Beatles track's obscure, but I put on one that you wouldn't consider a frontliner. Every word.
Oh, wow.
Note perfect.
Wow.
He did all the harmonies as well. Robinson bowls, Khawaja driving, out to cover, no run.
A man of multiple talents is our own Jeremy Coney. We sat post-dinner last night discussing the geography of Eastern Europe. Told him about an encounter. I should rephrase that. What a conversation I had with a Lithuanian waitress recently. Sorry, Isha. And that got us talking. We were lost in East Europe, trying to figure out where Latvia is in relation to Estonia and Albania and Moldova. And we both of us learned a lot about that part of the world.
This is why you got to get into Eurovision. Now you're an Australian citizen.
Yeah.
It's all part of it. Now they're going to change the field rather radically here between deliveries. Ben Stokes is going to implement the catch and cover plan. So 2 in the covers and 2 behind them. Indeed, 3 behind them, saving runs if it gets through. To Kawaja here, it dies into the gloves after he shoulders arms. So try and describe that in a bit more detail. We've got 2 men in close, Brook and Stokes, about 3 pitches over, if that's a genuine catching covers. Then Moeen at backward point, Ollie Pope at point, James Anderson at extra cover, and Stuart Broad at mid-off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there for Kawaja on the drive.
It's
Robinson, 2 left in the over, delivers here. Kawaja leaves alone because the field's there, and they're not going to tempt him into something silly here, not after 312 balls in the middle.
Yeah, it's almost like they have the entire police force trying to nail down a gang warlord or something. Just looking at that field.
Yeah, they've got a wiretap on Kawaja
exactly,
at the moment.
Yeah. They're everywhere. They're spread everywhere. There's no way. It's like you said, there are 2 in front and then 3 covering them. So there's no way. There is no gap to pierce.
And on the leg side, for what it's worth, a mid-on Crawley and a deep backward square. So fine leg if he gets inside the line. Robinson to finish. Get on the off-stump line outside the off-stump, and Kawaja says, you can bowl there all day, mate. I'm going to let it go. Trailing by 26, end of the over on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles, huge sale on now. Kawaja 139, Cummins 25, Australia 6 for 367.
I tell you, kids these days, they don't know the meaning of bargain hunting. Back in my day, I would sleep outside the store all night. No tent. And then once you got in, I still have a scar from a stock take sale back in 91. But these days, with Kogan Mobile, you can sign up for the best value gigs per buck while sitting on the toilet. Talk about a bargain. Get one at koganmobile.com.au.
SEN Test Cricket for McCafe, celebrating 30 years of coffee, fit for an Aussie. Phil Long behind us, he's got a stat.
Yeah, Osman Khawaja this morning, he's faced 34 balls, scored 13 runs. That's 1 6, 7 ones and 26 dots.
So really in no hurry at all. He was out there for, I think, 25 overs after raising a century last night for 26 further runs. Broad starts a new over, delivers to Cummins, who wants to drive and hits the stumps at the non-striker's end. Wouldn't have been a single anyway. So they're 26 behind, but as we said before, the test match, Bharat, keeping England out there for a long time is of benefit too, because it messes with their game plan. Ideally, England, what they would have loved to have done, they would have loved to have batted in their second innings only today, bowl Australia out on day 4 and play golf on day 5, because the England team are determined to play as much golf as they can through the series. As Broad gets to the crease, slip in a gully, delivers here, Cummins, full and pushed out to extra cover. And you think I'm overplaying this point, perhaps. I'm not. They tried to win a test match when they were in Pakistan late last year. The 3rd test match, so it must have been the one in Karachi. They had about 180 to chase, and they tried to knock it off in, I think it was 15 overs on that 3rd evening rather, to get 2 more days of golf. Despite the fact that chasing 180 can often be laden with risk. No. We'll take the risk on if it means. And Rayan Ahmed, the 18-year-old, opened the batting.
That's right.
Despite being picked to bowl leg breaks. Broad bowls here to Cummins, wider of the crease, full Yorker length, dug out.
I mean, on the eve of this test match, you think Ben Stokes, first time captaining in an Ashes series. He does the press conference, had a long hit in the net. And then what does he do? Yeah, he's already carrying his golf kit, got into a camouflage, his golf gear. And Ryan Pearce, our wonderful photographer, saw him in the elevator just leaving for a game of golf on the eve of the Ashes test. That's what they do.
They trained early against Ireland the day before the test to make sure they get a full round in the afternoon. So it's a very unusual part of the Ashes series, really. Australia decided to go up to Liverpool in their opening weekend to play golf. And well, they called it a bonding camp at Andrew McDonald, as he explained to Jarrod Whiteley last week. It was mostly a golf trip. And they want to finish test matches early. They don't want to be playing day 5 because it messes with their bigger picture, which is to get around and play golf. Phil?
Yeah, and the fact Osman Khawaja in his 40th over since he reached his 100 will not be pleasing that England golfing team.
No, it won't at all. The golfing team that happened to play test cricket.
No, Australia playing this so smartly. Already they've faced more than 31 overs what England faced in their innings.
We're getting a lid brought out here. It's for Ollie Pope, who's going to jump presumably into forward short leg. No other catcher bend ducket rather than gully is kind of more a backward point. Roots around the corner, backward square, generously. Could call that leg gully. As Broad just takes a breather halfway through the over. Other than that, deep backward square, fine leg, forward square leg, mid-on. So 6 fielders on the leg side. Short pitch attack is certainly coming here. Broad in, headband on, Cummins, bouncer, ducks it. Well played.
And as good as Anderson and Broad are, I mean, it is such an aging bowling attack. More miles you put under the English fast bowlers' feet, and that's exactly what Australia are doing. Usman Khawaja's playing it smartly, and Pat Cummins has come out looking very positive. I expected him to do that once he realized he had to bat number 8, a position he's given up to Mitchell Starc in the last 18 or so months.
Brought up to the crease from the Birmingham City end. Towards us, towards Cummins. He takes on the short ball, not far away from Root as well. Fending it into the leg side behind square. And that gets the crowd involved. Only 79 miles an hour, so high 120s in new money. But watching it back here for Tyre Power, your tyre experts, that was a very awkward, not only length, but where it was coming. It was right in the armpit. And Cummins tried to get it away from him from the splice of the bat. Well bowled.
Yeah, for a change, especially on this pitch, Pat Cummins is a bit too tall for his own good. Got into that awkward area. He has been trouble with the short ball before. Does practice a lot against the short ball because he realizes that.
I think another helmet's coming out.
Yes, indeed.
So that'll take some time out of the game. And again, that won't bother Australia. I think that, and we all arrived broadly at the same point, didn't we? We were talking pre-game that the best thing Australia could do in response to the way England plays to bat for a long time.
Yeah.
It just means that they'll have miles in the legs that they won't be as conditioned to. Speaking to Michael Vaughan about this last night, touched on it earlier, that very little 4-day cricket. They'll be doing it tough out there. Ben Stokes puts the helmet on. Don't see that too often. He's a short leg. Silly point as well. Broad bowls. Not far away from Stokes as well. It bisects Stokes and Root. Out the deep backward square for a couple. Pretty well played by Cummins, who advances to 27. That's the end of the over. Australia trail by 24. They're 6 for 369. Our coverage is for Macca's. Here's to 30 years of the McCafe.
They're off and racing in the Memory Maker Stakes. On the inside, download free, followed by Make Informed Decisions. Poking up on the fences, plan everything with compare prices and options. Heading past the 600 metres, build your own coffin, the front runner. 2 lengths to Unique Life, but here comes Tobin Brothers Celebrating Lives through the middle and gets up to win.
Thanks, Brian. Plan your race to the finish line using the Tobin Brothers Funerals Memory Maker app. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
We've got about 40 minutes until lunch on this third day. Our coverage for Macca's. Here's to 30 years of the McCafe. First session for Drinkwise. Remember, if you're drinking to Drinkwise, Jeremy Coney jumping back in. I'm Adam Collins. Sundaresan stays with me. Just 1 wicket this morning. They really needed to bowl Australia out.
Yep, 1 for 58 so far this morning. They started 82 behind, and now just 24, is it? I think.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Robinson to continue. Packed cover region. Bowls to Khawaja, who drives in that direction, but straight to Anderson at extra cover, no single.
It's been interesting, isn't it, watching Cummins, who came out, looked a little bit uncertain to start in the first couple of overs he was there. That's pretty reasonable, I think. He knows that his form hasn't been that good of late. But he's looked, I think this pitch actually helps him. He can get onto the front foot a bit more, and he's been doing that to the point where we can see England are now starting to bowl short at him, try and make him uncomfortable.
Robertson round the wicket, so the change of angle in the over. Khawaja helps himself to one, but deep square leg where there's a sweeper. He's 140, the score he made against South Africa and Adelaide back in 2016. They trailed by 23, 6 for 370.
And sometimes a slower pitch, a slower bouncer can be quite difficult to avoid, actually. You get into position to play it, and then you're having to wait, and it's coming at that awkward height at you.
Yeah, knuckle ball from Ollie Robinson is very slow, 65 miles an hour.
So Jarrod called this yesterday. It's like, given the surface, it won't be long before we start seeing white ball deliveries.
Absolutely.
And Moeen Ali's got so many balls to grip, Jeremy. I'm sure some of the Australian seamers will try bowling the off-cutter. Josh Hazelwood had a very sharp off-cutter.
Change in approach for Cummins, with Robinson having now a fly slip, a silly point. I think Stokes will ultimately end up at short leg. Stewart brought it wide mid-on. Roots at leg gully, but probably a bit too deep for that. He's bouncing from foot to foot. Deep square leg as well. So here comes a short pitch attack at Cummins. Robinson delivers here, and Cummins knows it's coming, so he ducks early. And he'll duck often if he can.
And with the short ball, Jeremy, it's when you have more time to think about it is when you get into more trouble, right? If it's really quick, like you're batting at the whacker, at times it's easy to just like bank on your reflexes.
Yep. That's right. It's hard to time the stroke sometimes, and a slower, loopy bouncer is quite a decent attacking weapon sometimes.
Robinson in his 20th over, wicketless. Wide of the crease, round the wicket. Cummins again is able to duck out the way. They've kept their foot behind the line this morning, if nothing else long. Have they had a no ball yet?
No balls yet. 13 in the innings, 12 yesterday. As we know, only 4 came off the last ball, and...
Oh, now one here. You couldn't make it up. You wouldn't want to make it up.
I wonder, was that a no ball for...
A height? Or
I think it was a height, because Marian Erasmus pointed to his shoulder. I think it was for the height.
Yep. Well, it was, and it takes a little bit of effort out of the bowlers too, you know, if they're going to pursue this sort of policy.
So Robinson's going to stay around the wicket. 3 left in the over. Had the no ball already, so it stays at 6 for 371 when Cummins goes back to defend.
And he's telegraphed the plan to him already, and he can't bowl any more bouncers in this over. And even with this, I think England are playing into Australia's hands. So England are in a hurry. Australia are just holding them back. Just holding the belt buckle and just not letting them get away.
We've got a load of text coming in on 0433 98 11 16 in Australia and 8833 in New Zealand. I might hoover up a few of those in the next over, but keep them coming. Robinson, away from us, very close at silly point there, Ollie Pope. Short ball, so the change of angle doesn't change anything. It's down the leg side, and these are not penetrative short balls. This is not what Robinson's there to do. Oh. This is what Mark Wood or Josh Tongue is there to do, and both of them overlooked this week. And Robinson looks generously knackered.
It's a good point you make. He is born and bred and worked into being an English seamer, isn't he, and a good one. Suddenly he's got to expend all his energy.
Not sure it would carry the fly slip, even if he got a top edge. Cummins inside the line of the short ball, wants to play and doesn't in the end around rib height. Ends the over, 111 gone. 6 for 371 on the Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Khawaja 140, Cummins 27.
For over 40 years, Kubota have worked the Australian landscape and faced its challenges. From first light to sunset, our agriculture and construction range works with power and versatility that you can rely on. From our mid-size to professional tractors, dependable mowers, zero tail swing or conventional excavators, and more. Kubota is building and shaping the future. Visit kubota.com.au or head to your nearest dealer to learn more.
Our first session is for Drinkwise. Remember, if having a drink to Drinkwise, you might be doing so in Australia or New Zealand, where you can text in. Nick in Newcastle enjoying the call with a coldie. Brad's a bloody legend. Couldn't agree more, Nick.
Thank you.
My vice captain on SEN Test Cricket over here in England. Chris Foxton in New Zealand, snug in bed for the match. Good job, gentlemen. Go Australia. There you go. A New Zealander supporting Australia, Jeremy.
Yeah.
We've got a message in from Baku, Azerbaijan.
Wow.
The capital.
We were talking about it.
Lots of oil derricks there.
Yes, where the Eurovision Song Contest.
Grandmas on bicycles, Jeremy.
Yes,
outside.
In
Work,
20,
go harder.
both this year and in 2012 when Loreen won. Broad round the wicket delivers here to Khawaja. Not usually meant to be doing Eurovision cricket crossover. Anyway, his message reads, our anonymous correspondent, can't find Jeremy's performance on Twitter. Any chance of a live reprise? When you weren't here, Longy and I were talking about your SENZ video this morning.
Can you guys just stop all that? You know, it was my one attempt to get off that sort of that whole platform.
A question here asking what a good lead is for Australia. Well, I think any lead would be appreciated this morning, but from 22 behind, they can dare to dream a bit here, Australia. Broad round the wicket, nothing in the pitch. Bowls to Khawaja on the drive, gets through Anderson. He misfields, but there's a deep backward point. That's Duckett. Keeps it to 1. He's 141, 6 for 372. Message in from Nick in Adelaide. Just finished watching the Bluey episode about cricket. Highly recommend it. Couldn't agree with you more. I've been watching it with my 3.5-year-old on repeat. She must have watched it 20 times during the week. I got a little download sent to me from Australia. It's actually not on in the UK yet, but it is the greatest advertisement for what cricket can do that I've seen in, well, fictionalised depiction anyway that I've ever seen. I think it's a glorious thing, and what Rusty, the character, is, I hope he's still batting. I hope one day he walks out to bat at the Gabba for Australia as he does in the final scene. Very emotional. I'll get you to watch it, Jeremy. About a bunch of dogs that play cricket this episode.
Dogs?
Blue heelers and Kelpies. Playing cricket.
Right.
They get it bang on, believe me.
Strange things happen in Australia, Jeremy.
There's a little touch with Bradman in there, which might bring you to tears as well. Broad bowls here, and Cummins with a silly point. Short pitch attack inevitably coming, and he defends it into the turf, and at silly point, Pope does the fielding.
Anthropomorphism, is that what it is? That's where they're treating them as...
We're not going... Just bear with me on this one. Dogs playing cricket.
Bears are coming into it as well. Heavens.
The opposition bears.
It's Father's Day in England today, and I've received from my fiancée and my daughters matching Bluey pyjamas.
Ooh. How cute.
Isn't it just? Cummins 27, brought to him here, over the wicket rather, and Cummins defends.
Well, you weren't wearing them this morning as you came in to do the ironing in the kitchen.
No, this will be for when I get home back to London.
All right, okay.
We got in Moorabbin, no name on this one. Is it exotic enough and worthy of a mention that I'm in my lounge room drinking coffee in Moorabbin? It is. Well, you've been mentioned. There you go. I'm enjoying a crownie in Melbourne, says Alex, who visited Westfield Knox today. Not quite Stratford. I think that's a reference to my podcast. Thank you, Alex. And a question here asking why Crawley keeps getting picked ahead of Folkes as Broad bowls and Cummins defends. And the theory advanced by our texter is that Crawley's more into golf than Ben Folkes.
Very good theory.
To come full circle in our discussion earlier, Baz.
Yeah. I mean, I would play Ben Folkes just for his hair. Then when I saw England pick Ben Folkes out.
Wait, Daniel's on next over. Get Daniel to tell you the story of when he made a massive faux pas at the Surrey end of season dinner with Ben Folkes. Daniel can tell that story next over. Silly point and short leg are pretty much on the pitch. Broad bowl's last delivery of the over, and Cummins pulls the bat inside the line. Really good batting from the captain. He's 27. I'm jumping out. Daz jumping out. Fleming with Daniel Norcross. Aussies trail by 21. They're 6 for 372 on the Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Khawaja 141. Cummins 27.
Beaumont Tiles is proudly sponsoring Test Cricket's World Cup final, and I'd like to bowl you over with these Beaumont bargains. Coming at us at top speed is their monster bathroom wear catalogue sale, packed with everything at up to 25% off. Vanities, baths, shower screens, even the kitchen sink. And yes, up to 25% off Australia's biggest tile range. Well, that's bowl me over. Up to 25% of all bathroom wear and tiles. You'll be happy you chose Australia's #1, Beaumont Tiles.
SEN Test Cricket. The last half hour of the first session, which is brought to you with Drinkwise. Remember, if drinking, drink wise. You have some Cummins for me, Steve. Steve? Steve?
Steve here.
Steve. It's Phil.
Pat Cummins, 12th in Test innings in England. It's his highest Test score. In England, it's rather strange. He's batted 12 times, 3 scores in the 20s, 9 scores in single figures.
Well, do you know what I'm getting? I'm getting a strong vibe here, ladies and gentlemen, that everybody who's done badly in England before is loving this pitch, and everybody who's done well in England before doesn't like this pitch.
I'll think about that for a little bit.
Do you want to have a little thought?
I need names, yeah.
Oh my word, what a great field. As Robinson is in, down the leg side, there's no run. Khawaja on strike. I should have pointed this out. We've got a forward short square leg, not to be confused with a forward short leg. He's a short square leg. We've got 2 short mid-wickets, one inevitably finer than the other, because otherwise they'd have to inhabit exactly the same
They were quite
space.
tall.
They were quite tall, yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, the forward short square legs, not short.
Not actually. Yeah, that's a correct description, isn't it, Jeremy?
Well, it is.
Oh, and
I'm sure it's confused most of our
short straight mid on as well.
listeners.
This is defended by Khawaja. The
There's
short
actually
straight mid on.
there's a bit of Freddie Truman's test match about this field, isn't it? Remember the board game?
Yeah, the board game. Yeah, because that's what you used to do.
You just put everyone.
You had loads in front of the wicket, didn't you? Got very few slip catches in Freddie Truman.
No,
Yeah,
he did in real life, Fred. But I think in his little board game, we're in an umbrella field like that in front of the wicket.
Yeah. It's an umbrella field, but if that was the umbrella you were using later today, I don't think it would be a problem.
No, you get wet. It's up down.
Wet on the offside.
Upside down.
Yeah. Robinson in again. Forward and through Khawaja, and not far at all from off stump. He's mixed it up a little there. 81 miles per hour, right in the block hole. As Root and Anderson have a little chat.
But that's important too, boys, too. If you're a fast medium bowler, when you go up, you've got to add a couple of yards to it, and particularly when it's your Yorker or your bouncer, and he certainly did that. If that was on the stumps, that would have knocked over Khawaja, which would be a fine effort.
Which means that the plan that's in front of him. Oh, now we've got two. Now the offside's covered.
It's almost like they're smiling at us, isn't it?
This is a much better functioning umbrella now, because we've got 3 on the leg side, 3 on the offside.
Wow.
All short. This is an hilarious field. Robinson in. Bowling! Gone through him. This one was full, but it was straight. And the off stump has gone flying out of the ground. Usman Khawaja's quite magnificent knock of 141. His redemptive 100, his first on English soil, has finally come to an end.
Well, that's it's a brilliant delivery, because you'd think he tried at the ball before. You'd think he'd be building up for a couple of deliveries till he went the Yorker again, and he has knocked off stump out of the way, out of the ground. So that is the doorway to departure for Usman Khawaja. But what a majestic innings! 140, one of the best runs you want to see.
If I had a hat, I'd take it off. Everyone else has taken their hats off around this ground as Usman Khawaja makes his way off. England fans, Australian fans, every fan you can think of is giving him the send-off he deserves, because that has been a quite sensational knock. Not spectacular, but brilliant. Perfect for the circumstances. And now the pantomime villain is booed to the crease. Nathan Lyon. I don't quite know what he's done wrong. I mean, he basically dropped a ball that he should have caught and run someone out.
I think it's because he's not Moeen Ali.
Is that it?
Just simply that, getting booed.
Seems a bit harsh on Nathan. Though I always think he's a man I might bump into at Birmingham New Street, looking slightly different, asking for directions and maybe a spot of change. But he's out there now, and he's ready to take his first ball.
But Jeremy, that is a bit of bowlology gold.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it's the combination of the field too. I think that got into Khawaja's mind slightly about where he was going to score. He had a little opportunity the ball before where it was very full and it missed the off stump. That one was actually much on target, although he kind of yorked himself in a way by I can't talk any longer, you two. You're both falling apart with at each other. It's very silly here, folks.
Let me give you the full numbers of Usman Khawaja's innings. 141 runs, 321 balls. He hit 14 fours and 3 sixes.
Was it the doorway of disaster or the driveway?
The doorway to departure.
The doorway to departure for Usman Khawaja.
Yes.
It was the fact that it rhymed. It finished me off.
Yeah.
It was an absolute beauty.
I'll spread them out.
You have? Yeah, you have.
It's beautiful. Don't give me any advance warning. Sorry, Jeremy.
No. It's much more important.
Oh dear. Right, so Robinson has got his first wicket in his 21st over, and this is an unusual side. Australia are batting, and Usman Khawaja is not there. He faced. How many balls was that in the end? 3-2-1. 3-2-1.
First slip is on the boundary.
Oh yes. Robinson in down the leg side, and Lyon flicks it in. Misses. Yes, we've got to be clear. We've got a fly first slip. I would say he's
who was walking in
5 yards inside the boundary. Yes, walking in.
Walked in.
Moeen Ali's at...
You know what? He's walking in because I don't reckon he really knows what he has to do. Stokes, he's gone, mate,
Back
first slip. Oh, no worries. Yeah, beyond the boundary. He's very self-conscious. Have a look at him. You watch what am I doing?
Yeah, we'll take a
He's looking at his shoelaces.
Is it Lurch down there?
Oh, look, he's pointing.
Do you want me on the boundary? Or?
I think it is Lurch, yeah. Robinson in, short, and Lyon goes for a pull, and it comes off a bit of body. Rolls down into the gully region. Well, what a great eventful over. Australia lose their 7th wicket. At the end of it, they're 7 for 372.
Thirsty Camel here. Win $5, $10 or $20 off your next purchase with Hump Club bonus rewards. 1 in 10 wins. You'll beauty. Grab your favourites like Carlton Dry 24-pack for $53.99 or $48.99 for Hump Club members. Or Wild Turkey 4.8% 10-pack, $48.99 or $43.99 for members. Sign up online or in-store. Membership has its perks. Drink responsibly. Available at selected stores only. T's and C's apply. Ends 9 July. Even camels get thirsty.
SEN Test Cricket with Maccas. Here's to 30 years of McCafe. And in the last over, we had the opportunity to celebrate another wicket for Tobin Brothers' funeral, celebrating lives. And what was notable about Usman Khawaja's innings was, did he have any lives? I think he felt chanceless to me. I think all the chances came at the other end as Broad is in to Pat Cummins with an intriguing field I'll tell you about as he guides a short ball down towards deep backward point. Anderson is after it. He catches up with it 3 or 4 yards inside the boundary. So this is a field, good old Stokes. He keeps every commentator on their toes. Look, you know, you can normally dial this in, can't you? 3 sips, gully, cover mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and a long leg. No chance.
You're earning your money, you're a colo as the ball
really
bubbles.
We really are.
Stokes.
We've got I'm going to go silly mid-off and silly mid-on, both with lids on. No slips. Backward point was kind of deep gully, cover just in front of square. Then no one else beyond that, just in front of square cover, in front of square on the offside. As Broad is into Cummins, he gets a short ball and both silly mid-off and silly mid-on both collapsed to the ground because they thought they were both in business.
Well, they look silly. They did look silly.
Cummins played it beautifully. It was as if both of them had just been told that a swarm of bees had come overhead and they just both collapsed to the ground simultaneously. It's a beautiful sight.
That was choreographed. Jeremy, you respect that.
I do. I totally do. I think they've practiced that. I think they have. They've been doing that for a couple of days beforehand. This will sort them out. Either that or they're both genuflecting, about to be awarded something.
Well played by Cummins. He faces up again. Short ball bouncer. Ducks beneath. That last ball, he played it. He wasn't looking. And when I say he played it well, what I mean is the end result was the ball hit the top of the bat, just landed straight down in front of him. He wasn't watching him.
No, he tried to ride it.
Gone either way. Yeah.
The interesting thing was that it was this time, first ball, it was the 2 fieldsmen going down. This time it was the batsman. So they've actually it's catching.
Well, you're a choreographer. What do you want from this ball? Back to the 2 silly men ducking?
I do.
All 3? What about all 3 ducking?
This time?
Or maybe just do the YMCA thing.
And then the stumps.
Broad in, short, and that comes off Cummins' body. And rolls out to the silly men on, who is Stokes. This is awfully good fun. I haven't told you the onside field, which is, there's a short, long leg. And there's a fine leg, short long leg, by which I mean he's a long leg, but he's about 10 yards in off the boundary. There's a deep square, and there is a mid-wicket. It's a wacky field.
Yeah, it's wacky.
It usually is. And I tell you, WinViz predictor has suddenly done the flipperoo. It was well in favour of Australia. It's now flipped to just in favour of England. I don't agree with it, but it's what WinViz does. 49% England, 46% Australia.
It hasn't got me, WinViz.
No, you can't.
Hasn't won me over
at the moment.
Broad in, short, nicely played by Cummins. He managed to get inside the line and tuck it round the corner down to that Moeen Ali, who is at the short, long leg. Root is weirdly at the fine leg position. 7 for 375, 9 on strike.
This will be interesting, gentlemen, because we know Broad is bowling short. The field's set for it. It's another no ball.
Broad don't mind that. It means he's got an extra ball to bowl at Lyon.
But Nathan Lyon, he is the hookologist.
The hookologist,
He is just, you bowl it short, I'm taking it on. Doesn't duck, doesn't ride it.
Who, Lion or?
Lion.
Oh, Lion.
No, Lion.
Okay.
He's the hookologist. And the sweepoligist. He's got a couple of little bows
Well, they've
to his
certainly
string.
retreated, haven't they?
Do they need another man on the leg side?
Well, yeah, they got 6. It's 6. 7 even, I think. Brought in short. He's gone for it. High in the air, down towards the long leg, and it bounces safely in front of.
What did I say?
7-2 field. You
Can't leave it.
Spot on.
Can't leave it.
Nostra Fleming strikes again.
Yeah.
I actually want him on strike. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Tail enders taking on short balls.
Yeah. Cummins on 30, his highest score in England.
Has he ever retreated and gone offside?
Now, wait a minute. Lion's score has not gone up on the scoreboard. It has now. Right, they've given him that run. For a moment, I thought that was leg buys. They come off bat handle.
That got big on Nathan. Yeah. Good one from Brody, that one.
So we're back to the choreographed silly mid-offs and on. One on either side.
We're a chance for 3 ducks here. The 2 sillies and Cummins, the batsman.
Last ball of the over. Brought it to Cummins. Full. Yeah, the bluff, but it's dug out well. Hits it square of the wicket, but can't beat the field.
Disappointing.
End of the over. This is all terrific fun on SEN Test Cricket in Australia. At the end of the over, 7 for 3, 7-7.
Just going to grab some more beers. Pause it for me? No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. He's about to get his ton. It'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Test cricket on SEN. The Beaumont scoreboard tells you 7 for 3, 7-7. It's been a pretty decent morning for Australia. Only lost the 2 wickets now. Get your texts in 0433 98 1116 in Australia. And you will know by now, because if you have been to TikTok, you will have heard Jeremy Coney's TikTok ode to SENZ listeners. It's now on Twitter for everyone to check out. That number, 8833.
Okay,
It's on Twitter.
TikTok.
Go check it out.
I'm glad it's onto Twitter. I'll have a little look at that.
Have a look, yeah?
Yeah.
Robertson into Lyon, who looks to flick the ball away down the square leg. And I looked for it there because that's where Lyon looked for it, but actually the ball just landed at his feet of his body. No run. Are you going to check it out?
No. Yeah, where do I look?
No. Well, you did it.
Okay. Are you happy with it? You're never happy.
Don't have regrets, Jeremy.
Oh, look, I feel a couch coming out. You want me to lie down, you two? Leave me alone.
Too short for that.
We might see a 6 or out here.
Robinson in. Lyon goes for the ball, comes off his body again and rolls out to the gully region. The crowd are loving this. Because we know what...
He can't block, he can't duck. But it's short, I'm hooking it.
It's only getting to it. It's about navel height.
I don't think he's watching the ball.
I mean, I could give you the feel, but you could probably guess. Of course you can guess. There's a fly slip. There's a backward point, short extra. Then there's a fine leg, a long leg, a square leg. There's a square leg just in front of square. Then there's a deep square leg just in front of square. And there's a forward short leg.
Watch out for the Yorker.
Robinson in short, gone for it. High in the air, fielder underneath, takes the catch. Lyon goes, duck it with the simple catch, a deep square leg. Robinson has his second, and it was coming. We just thought it might take a little longer. Lyon departs for 1, and the field was set for it. Everybody knew what was going to happen, but Lyon just thought he might get it into the holly stand. He didn't. He's presented a simple catch to Duckett, who waited for it and took it down by his shins. Australia now 8 for 3, 7-7.
Unfortunately, I was a ball out, but that was just the way it was going to play out. It wasn't smart batting. It's quite a big boundary, isn't it, to try and hit a 6 to the holly stand. Gaz doesn't try and keep him down either. He does try and hit sixes.
He goes from low to high.
So that's a bonus. Robertson, I thought he found it tough yesterday. You know, he looked like he was really struggling, but a night's rest. The big wicket of Usman Khawaja, he now gets Nathan Lyon out. England needs to just get through this tail as quickly as possible because, you know, half an hour ago they might have been looking at a deficit.
Yeah,
But no, Great cricket.
Robinson, as you say, champion bowler. He's taken 2 for 55. He's averaging 27 and a half, and he hasn't looked like he's been doing that today.
England have found a way, haven't they?
That is the Stokes, though.
It's the short delivery, making them feel uncomfortable, and then occasionally the very full ball and the Yorker at the stumps. That's what's doing for the tail at the moment.
So Cummins, he hasn't got the spirit of Stokes. Why doesn't he declare now and have 2 overs before lunch at England's openers?
If he's still there, he'll declare half an hour before stumps tonight.
Stumps, yeah. Well, I think the rain may declare us.
So who's come out? Is it Bolo? I didn't know. Bolo or the big Hoff.
He's not got a very sensational average. 10 not out is doing a lot of lifting on the average.
Big Bolo.
How does Bolo handle that?
Loves a forward defence.
He looks like he
loves forward defence.
That'll be hard for the short ball.
Yes, he could headbutt this.
We've got a very different field, so they know that. We've got leg gully, long leg and a deep square. Robinson's first ball to Boland. Ball, brilliant block hole delivery, which is really well dug out by Boland. That's a great ball first up, and he's played it really well.
Was there a bit of reverse as well there?
It did move.
It actually, he's bowled it from wide out.
It's a very perfect ball, perfectly played.
Good cricket.
And, only thing I might say is he could have possibly nicked a single.
What's first slip on the boundary doing again? He looks very self-conscious of himself.
What am I doing here?
What am I doing?
Yeah. Robinson into Boland short. Ill-directed down the leg side.
He does, I know. He's lost. He's
got no one to talk
covering
to.
The buys. I don't know. Is he going to go and order some pies for the lads?
Lurch is not a great talker.
And he's not walking crazy. In now. You know how you picked that up. Now he's... I don't think I'm supposed to walk in.
He has a certain bovine quality, does Crawley, and I think he's just having a little graze. Now, what are the boos for this time?
Oh, he's gone to third slip now.
Oh yeah, he's off on a little wander. Now,
around the wickets.
Oh, this is cruel. So we've got a leg slip. Leg gully's moved to leg slip.
I'd have another one on the leg side.
Lurch is out to
this.
Deep third slip. Robinson in short, and he does. Through to the keeper. End of the over. A successful one for Robinson in England. In Australia at the end of it. Are 8 for 377.
What type of Snap Fitness member are you?
I'm active already and looking for ways to stay motivated and get more out of fitness each time I go to the gym. I want ongoing guidance, new programs and tracking.
I want to develop a better understanding of my workouts with a trainer and learn new things about physical health, mental health, and be shown how I can eat better.
Ready to make more progress? It all begins at snapfitness.com.au. Snap Fitness helps members feel motivated and inspired. Snap Fitness. Get moving.
SEN Test Cricket with Maccas. Here's the 30 years of Cafe and Phil Long, formerly known as Steve. What have you got?
Here's one Fleming like back-to-back wicket maidens.
Yeah, see, that's Bazball. The maidens of England, they've out-maidened Australia completely in this match. And actually,
that generally leads to more wickets. The more consecutive maidens you can bowl.
Well, I heard that if the Ashes is level at the end, but it's decided on most maidens, isn't it? Much like the World Cup final.
Okay, all right.
Broad in, short, gone for it. There's Cummins, and he's pulled it down to deep. Well, there's a deep back of his head, not really. More like he's the short, long leg, Joe Root. His long leg, but in off the boundary. Now, the field will change a touch for Boland because it's slightly different intent in his batting. 8 for 378. Australia very close to parity. And you know, only 8 still. I think get absolute parity. If we've got complete parity, I'll tell you, have a date task. Gravity. The history of Test cricket. It's amazing where I pluck these things from, isn't it?
Hey, we'll go with it. It's very Bazball commentary. Big Bolos.
Commentate before the ball's bowled.
There's Broad, he's in, and Boland ducks about to the till directed to the keeper. No, well, let's see if...
No, he's a ducker.
Yeah, well, will it
he don't take it on like Nathan Lyon.
Sitting mid on, sitting mid off is there. Leg gully's there. Backward point and a straight mid off. Mid on, square leg, long leg. Broad in, full, and well played by Boland. Turned around a little bit. It's not the most elegant defensive shot, but he's got bat on it and rolled it up to mid off where Robinson does the fielding. 8 for 378 the score.
He doesn't look set for a big innings, Bolo. Just watching the mannerisms. Checking out leg gully to see that little look. Oh, they've got a leg gully.
That's my
I wonder where the
weakness.
next ball's
That's
coming.
my weakness. Lucky me. Broad runs in for the Birmingham end. Short, and he's out.
Caught and seen him off. Couldn't ride the bounce. It was short. He tried to get in behind it, but didn't do it very successfully, and offered the absolutely easiest of catches to Ollie Pope. And Australia have lost their 9. Boland departs for a duck. That average isn't going to get any better. I think that we're in danger of getting a tiny lead here as we move to within 8 minutes of lunch.
The one positive I'll say, it actually hit the middle of Bolo's back. But because there was nothing, he was sparring at the ball, Ollie Pope cannot get an easier catch.
Ever.
It wasn't the same, but that infamous one that Mike Gadding dropped, do you remember? I think it was in the Subcontinent Tour, in the same position. It wasn't, but it was... Yeah.
That went a little hard.
I think he closed his hands, and it hit his top of his fingers, but that... I said he didn't look like he's set for a big one, and he didn't let us down.
Jeremy
He's ready to have a ball.
Is in tears of laughter. I think we might have got something else to deal with up here. So 9 for 378 with Hazelwood yet to score.
I wonder what happened there with Big Bolo. You know, he was ducking.
What did
he
happen?
was ducking, and he decided to
Stand
ride
tall.
it.
Yeah, and go over it. But he didn't really cover
the
it,
bat
did
was
he?
on, sort of, instead of dead batting it, he was hitting slips catches.
If he'd have followed through it, actually probably would have been okay. He'd have pushed it over the top of them. You know what I mean? It would just lobbed over them. Just a nice, gentle parabola.
Yeah, didn't get to do that.
So that's a shot you'd like him to work on.
He could.
Broad's got 3. Anderson has got 1. I think that means that Broad and Anderson.
Now the
very
Big Hoff can get inside the ball. I'd be attacking the stumps upon Broad.
Hazelwood on strike, and he guides the ball with an angle back nicely. His first delivery down to Duckett at deep backward point for a single. He gets off the mark straight away. Can you just do a quick tot up? I think I've got a figure that Anderson and Broad are now 1 wicket behind McGrath and Warne, or have drawn level. It's one or the other.
To bowler, that might have been actually a slower ball bouncer. It looked more like a leg cut.
We've just seen the replay on the Tyre Power replay screen here, and the catch that was offered to Ollie Pope there is the one that you give. You know when you've got a 4-year-old child, and you're teaching them how to catch for the very first time. You try to make it as easy as that. You never quite can.
I think it's called the room service catch, easily delivered.
Yeah, nice. So Cummins is on strike.
Well, what are they talking about here?
I don't know what there is to talk about. But England do struggle when they get sides 9 down, so...
They do they?
They won't be being complacent at this stage.
Well, one positive, it's great to see the Australian captain looking like he's got back into batting form. You know, early in his career, he looked a very promising bowling all-rounder. But that average had dropped significantly. His strike rate had got so low, but maybe he can get away with a late flurry here. Tough to find the boundary with this field.
It's taking forever to set this field. We're in the 22nd over of the day.
Can he baseball it down the ground?
2 balls left in the over. Broad into Cummins. Short. Oh, majestically.
Boom.
What a shot that is. For 6. It's gone all the way out towards the groundsman's hut and into the crowd. That is an absolutely ripping shot of the day. It's the 9th 6 of this innings. I've seen a few today from Khawaja, but this one from Cummins, indeed from Cummins.
Well, it's about a swing batter, isn't it?
Oh,
what a sound.
What a
the
sound.
sound it made.
Do you feel like Stewart might have been telegraphing that a little bit to Patrick, Jeremy?
It might have been, yes.
4 6s and 3 4s this morning.
4 6s and 3
Now,
4s.
what now, though? Last ball of the over. Do we go full?
Bouncer here.
Another bouncer.
Definitely.
Bit higher.
Broad into Cummins, and dear, it's ill-directed and short, and so they'll just get an easy single. That is the worst ball you can bowl.
Or do that? Just let it go for 4.
And it's the end.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah. So he's not facing.
We'll debate that after the break. Australia 9 for 386.
Beaumont Tiles is proudly sponsoring Test Cricket's World Cup final by hitting a 6 with their massive bathroomware catalogue sale. How's this? Vanities, basins, baths, loos and even tapware are all slashed by up to 25% off. Plus, get up to 25% off all tiles. That's another 6 for Beaumont's. Head into one of over 110 stores around the country and save up to 25% on bathroomware and tiles. You'll be happy you chose Australia's #1 Beaumont Tiles.
SEN Test cricket with Australia 9 down. You need to be reminded, if you were thinking that you could just sneak away early to bed at lunch break, well, you might have to think again, because with 9 down, play can be extended by half an hour, or when the wicket falls, whichever one is sooner. And I've warned you, England do struggle taking 10 wickets, so you may want to just delay the brushing of your teeth.
You do sense that. Like, you can see Stokes has been quite animated around this last wicket, just trying to obviously get Cummins off strike and get some deliveries at Hazelwood.
Robinson rocks in to Cummins. He goes for a biggie. It's gone high in the air. Fielder underneath it. It's Ben Stokes. He should take the catch, and he does. That's it. That is the end of the innings. It's a third wicket for Robinson. Cummins departs for 38. Australia all out for 386, and England, from nowhere, have a slender lead of 7. Australia have lost all their 5 wickets before lunch. 4 of them have come in double quick time. Robinson's finished with 3 for 55. 3 wickets for Broad. It was short, it was pulled, top edge this time. Cummins aiming for the Holly stand. But Stokes got himself underneath the ball, and, well, he's got safe hands when he's taking a skyer. And he took it comfortably, fingers pointing up, kept his eye on the ball. Regulation catch in the end. And England, as I say, have that lead of 7. So it will be lunch, pretty much on time. Everything's gone according to plan. All rotors are safe. No one needs to worry.
Choreographing in that session.
Yeah.
And the biggest one is we'll have lunch pretty much at the same time. What an engaging test match. We felt it early on that Usman and Carey were going to get it well past the English total, but they've fought back well. Ollie Robinson's mopped in for his little threefer. Cummins batted really well there. But we're all set up. It's all even. Bazball to come after lunch. Exciting.
It's a one-innings game, you know. Jeremy, we were talking about this on the way in, weren't we? I think it was Phil Long who said, if this is a one-innings game, England will fancy their chances as the pitch deteriorates. But actually...
But now Moeen's not there.
One of the big stories of this morning has been Moeen and his fingers. He turned a few, and then he walked off. He's back out on the field of play, but they didn't use him, did they, towards the back end? So he'll take a bit of a patch-up job. He's got a chance to put his feet up, but England don't give you a lot of time.
Well, he wants to put his fingers up, doesn't he? Not so much his feet.
Yeah.
Put the fingers up.
How much will they recover if they can just get
another day?
The whole day, yeah.
But that can't be too many deliveries, can it? That might be 5 overs or 6 overs, and then suddenly it'll be laid bare again, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And that won't help England. England can't use this method that we see has been so interesting and effective to remove the tail. Don't think they can do that to the top order too much.
No. And then for the Australians, we saw some, unique fields early on day one. Did that work? Probably not. They need to get it right against certain players. Crawley, yes, but when it's Pope and Root, can we just get a bit traditional and get them out normally? There's a lot to play out here, and I'm excited about this next session.
Well, it's been an intriguing morning because it was all about trying to break that partnership that had been going overnight between Khawaja and Alex Carey, and it was Anderson who did it, bowling a beauty to get rid of Alex Carey. That was 6 for 338, but then an awkward and annoying partnership for England between Pat Cummins, the skipper, and Usman Khawaja. It's immovable. Taking Australia to 6 for 372, but they've lost their last 4 for 14. We have been saying a lot that tail was weak, and it proved it a bit, didn't it? Because it was a very simple plan that England had on a very slow pitch to bang it in as short as you can, and they weren't quite up for it. Boland's dismissal was rather tame, and Cummins hold out, Lyon hold out. They rather fell for the very obvious traps.
4 for 14 from 22 balls, that collapse at the end.
Yeah, I think the positive was the Khawaja and Cummins partnership because, as I said, Paddy's form hasn't been good in the last couple of years, so I thought there was a chance that they might have lost that 4 for 14 quicker. But the partnership delayed that to a degree and got him in. I think Lionel gets some runs just because of the way he plays at times. But, you know, with no star, geez, it just makes a long tail.
It is. Because you guys will need to have your lunch, I'm going to ask you both for your Macca's delivery of the day so far. And then I'll give you a quick score break. And by the way,
Stain of rain.
You can see that the covers come on.
Mine is Robinson.
Robinson, the bold
of Khawaja.
It was an absolute beauty, wasn't it? Do you concur, bowlologist?
Sounds good. I'll go Anderson to dismiss Carey.
That's good delivery too. Well, it was looking as if it was going to swing away and just nip back in between.
Well, I'll mediate between you and go the bouncer to get rid of Boland. I mean, he looked so solid against.
There's not much more he could do with that. You get a good one early. You get a good one early.
The room service shot.
The room service shot. There was an hilarious dismissal. Lads, why don't you go and have your lunch? I'll quickly run you through the scorecard. First man to go, David Warner, bowled by Broad for 9, a horrible shot. Next delivery, Marnus Labuschagne poking at an away swinger out first ball. For Nort, that was 2 for 29. Steve Smith, LBW, he did review it, but it was no dice. 16 on 59. LBW Stokes, 3 for 67. Travis Head, caught by Crawley off the bowling of Moeen Ali, looking to whack it into the stands. Inside half of the bat, good diving catch. 50 off 63. That was 4 for 148. Cameron Green, probably the delivery of the match. A ripper that went between bat and pad, spun 8.9 degrees. Did for Green, he made 38 from 68 though, had a life for his first ball. It's 5 for 220. The wickets to fall today, Alex Carey, bowled by Anderson, really good ball from around the wicket. He made a splendid 68 from 99. He's the second best averaging Australian wicketkeeper of all time behind Adam Gilchrist. That was 6 for 338 and then the collapse. Usman Khawaja's brilliant innings was beaten. They came to an end when a superb ball by Robinson, just knocked out off stump, really bowled quite quick and obviously straight. 141 he made from 321, 14 fours and 3 sixes. 7 for 372 that was, and then there was a collapse. Calypso, Nathan Lyon caught by Duckett on the boundary off Robinson, hooking a short ball out for 1 off 6. It was 8 for 377. Boland offering that hilarious catch, a short ball straight into Pope's mitts, and Silly mid off for a duck off 5. That was 9 for 378. Pat Cummins, the last man out, make his highest score in England of 38 off 62 with 3 sixes. He was out, caught by Stokes off the bowling of Robinson. Australia all out 3-8-6. They've conceded a first innings deficit of 7 runs. It's basically a 1 innings game, but the clouds are getting pretty manky. It's getting dark. We're expecting rain today. So it could be difficult conditions to bat in if England do get to come out after lunch, and they might not have awfully long to bat today before the expected cloudburst happens. So hang around, guys. Don't go to bed. We're only asking for your company for maybe a couple of hours. It could be longer. Weather forecasts are strange in this country, but you wouldn't want to miss out on what could be a flurry of England wickets after the break. But we'll be back here at Edgbaston in around about 30-35 minutes. But to take you through the lunch break, it'll be Paul Sebastiani.
SEN Test cricket for Macca's. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe Australia, all out for 386 on the stroke of lunch. That batted for 116.1 overs. Usman Khawaja, he ended up the 7th man to go for 141 of the best from 321 deliveries, 14 fours and 3 sixes. Ably supported by Alex Carey, with whom he added 118 for the 6th wicket. Carey made 66, the first man to fall today. Cummins a very useful 38 at number 8, but the tail fell away quickly. As expected, Lyon won, Boland didn't score, and Cummins was the last man to go, which means that England are carrying a 7-run lead into the second half of this fascinating test match. Adam Collins with you as we start our middle session for Drink Wise. Remember, if you're drinking, to drink wise. Jeremy Coney, former New Zealand skipper, with me. Jarrod Kimber as well, analyst on the game around the world. Patrick Cummins beneath us has the new ball in his hand. There'll be 2 slips in a gully. Zach Crawley to face. Relatively conventional fielder, catching mid-wicket as well. And we have a lot to ponder, gents. Good afternoon, Jeremy.
Hello, Adam. Yeah, it is. It is a fascinating kind of prospect, isn't it? Just how are England going to approach their batting in this innings?
So away from us, Cummins to start England's second innings. Up to Crawley, delivers here close to the stumps, off cutter to begin. Push to Khawaja at mid-wicket. Jarrod, all the talk downstairs at lunch was if England have things on their terms, how might they play this? Acknowledging that Ben Stokes has declared repeatedly they will not accept a draw in this series. And if there's going to be rain later today, and all indications are we'll lose the final session, hopefully we don't, but let's work on the basis of the forecast. That would mean England might have some decisions to make.
Yeah, I think the England team always used to say that they never took the weather into account, and then they got caught out about 3 times in a row doing that, and they started doing it again. 2
slips to gully, umpire Raza. Cummins passes him straight out the middle of the bat from Crawley down to mid-on, no movement. It's flat still, flat.
But the way that England play, clearly they will think about the weather and they will try and go as hard as possible. So this could be a very, very explosive session from them, especially if they see any clouds coming in, because they're going to want to give themselves as much chance of winning this game as possible. That's what Bazball's really about, right? It's not really about attacking. It's giving yourself as much chance or as much time to win each test match as possible.
Because the convention, Jeremy, would be from a situation like this, maybe 4 sessions to bowl out your opposition in the 4th innings and bat through until that juncture if you can. Cummins up to Crawley, bowls here, leading edge but doesn't go anywhere. They take a quick single to cover, in fact. Good running. Labuschagne Herring after it, but not to be. None for 1, leads 8. Crawley off the mark, but only 4 sessions to bowl Australia out the second time on a flatty without a spinner, given that Moeen Ali's injured. That may not meet the Stokes benchmark of not accepting draws. It might have to be 5.5 sessions, as wild as that sounds.
Well, what are there? There's 2 sessions today and then 2 further 3 sessions.
Yes.
So that's, in my book, that's 8.
Okay. Can we just check that?
No, yeah, that's it.
3
yeah,
and 2, yeah.
I've run out of fingers. No, so I would have thought if you're going to do that, and you're saying, are we going to factor in the rain as taking out 1 session or 2?
I think it's useful for the sake of pondering. Let's take one out of it. So 7 sessions
remaining
in the test match. And based on what Stokes is saying,
I've got to factor in also the potential loss of the Moeen Ali overs.
Yep.
So to Duckett, his first ball here, missed out in the first innings, caught behind. Cummins to him, and Duckett's off the mark first ball as well. Out to deep square, 2 out on the leg side, and that backward point, who was there from the get-go on morning 1. The first run was actually a leg by. Crawley still on naught, back on strike now. So it might be 2 sessions then they bat for.
So, well, yes, with 7, of course. If you're wanting that 4, that leaves you 3 sessions, including this one that's confronting us now. If we've taken off 1 for rain, is that right, from the 8?
I suppose my contention is that they'll say that they want 5 to bowl to give themselves the maximum opportunity, because 4 would be conventional, and conventional isn't Bazball and all of that. And there's one other factor to fold into this as Cummins approaches Crawley again, delivers here. Crawley edging and landing just in front of Cameron Green, who, to be fair, saved 4 runs there. Way to his left, dragging it in. Not every gully fieldsman can reach that far. Stays at none for 2. One ball left in the first over.
In that case, you've got 2 sessions, which is basically 60 overs, isn't it? Yep. There's a round figure. So 5s they went in the first innings. So there's your 300 ahead. And give the other team 5 sessions, you say, to get 300.
Yeah. I think the other factor I'd throw in there is you can almost guarantee, and this is crazy to say this, I might wait till Cummins has completed the over to complete the thought. Cummins on his approach, athletic as always, to Crawley. Bowls here. Crawley plays with soft hands out to point. He's off the mark as well. So 3 runs from the first over. Both men take singles. 1 leg by as well. None for 3 makes the lead an even 10 in the second innings after Australia were all out for 386 before lunch on the Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Huge sale on now in our session for Drinkwise. Remember, if you are drinking to Drinkwise, Jarrod, Kimber, Jeremy Coney with me, Adam Collins, they have shown recently an enormous desire to play golf on day 5. I mean, we saw that in Pakistan when they tried to win a test match.
Are you building all the game around they want a game of golf
I think it's
before the end of the
I think it's bonkers, right? I think it's bonkers. I think it's certifiable, but I also am aware of what's happened recently in Pakistan, where they tried to finish a game off 2 days early in order to get, and chasing 180 odd in the 4th innings, not without risk, just down to getting extra golf in. Now, Might they think, well, can we finish it in 4? Is there a way we can bat for 1.5 sessions and go at 7s? I don't know. Maybe I'm...
Well, I'm not going to factor that into my...
One shouldn't, but...
If you just put golf into your algorithm.
No, exactly.
Such is the oddity of...
But what you're suggesting is to leave 5 sessions, which is 150 overs, and possibly to get 300.
Yeah.
That's what you're really saying to me about what you've said.
I think that would be the...
That's 2 and over. They've just got 3.3 runs and over Australia.
I don't think...
And you haven't got your spinner.
Yeah, I don't think they'd care too much about the required rate, to be honest. Right. Hazelwood starts from the Birmingham City end, bowls to Crawley on leg stump, helped out to deep square. So 3 back straight away for Hazelwood, a deep point in front of the Hollies, and 2 out for the leg side strokes. 1 at deep square and 1 at fine leg. For Duckett, they'll go to a deep backward point, deep square leg, and Scotty Boland races around to beat fine leg to the left-hander as well.
I think they're in a better position than most teams to lose their spinner because they have Joe Root, and Australia has a lot of left-handers.
Yes, they do.
If they had a lot of right-handers and you have Joe Root, you might say, well, you know, we'll get 12 overs out of him, but he won't do much. I think in this particular situation, they're in a slightly better way. But not that we're expecting him to take a 5-wicket haul or anything.
Hazelwood over the wicket to Duckett. Nicked him off for 12 in the first innings. 2 slips at gully. Duckett pushes out to mid-on off the front foot. Kawaja fields in the short sleeve jumper, no run.
They're going to want to bowl back of a length here to Duckett, by the way, and I'm not sure this pitch has any back of a length left in it.
We didn't leave a single ball on morning 1, and that was his downfall. Of course, he had to leave the ball to the eventual edge, and Hazelwood will be very aware of that, setting him up.
Loves playing it on the offside, doesn't he? Intends to follow it slightly.
Might be, with the angle that he plays those shots, Jeremy, might be more of a chance of dragging on here.
Yes, he could, as it gets lower.
Hazelwood passes umpire Erasmus, bowls here, and defending at the middle of the bat is Duckett. No lateral movement from Hazelwood yet. He was the best of Australia's bowlers in the first innings, taking 2 for 61. Well, the best of the seamers, I should say. Of course, Nathan Lyon claiming 4 on that first day. Feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
So just to finish that off, I think they've either got to score faster than 5 runs and over if we're going to apply your algorithm of 5. I don't think they can do that, frankly. I think they might have to bat, you know, they might have to leave 4 and a bit or something like that. But they're going to have to score pretty quickly, I think.
Hazelwood delivers to Duckett, who defends. Let's flip it around. So let's now talk about Australia. And obviously the ideal scenario would be they get into them here, and even if it does rain, as we anticipate later today, they've got a foothold into the England middle order by stumps, whenever that happens to be called today, and then they aren't letting England score at quite the same rate tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Australia kind of have 2 bites of the cherry, don't they? Because they have the chance to actually just take wickets and make a mess of England, and then they have the chance of that when England's going so hard, they could do it again. So I think, you know, Australia's in a good position from that perspective.
And they can also set very conservative fields if they want to. Hazelwood bowls, Duckett pulls out the deep backward square where Boland arrives from fine leg, and he does bobble. You can hear that through the effects microphone because the crowd didn't mind that. Didn't go for 4, but they did get back for a second run. Makes the lead 13, number 6, Duckett 3 of those.
When me and Jeremy have been talking about this back in the apartment. When was the last time you saw an Australian team that looked this average in the field?
I mentioned that their outfielders weren't quite as sharp or as accurate as they might be. They've really got to work on this, and they've been dropping catches. They dropped catches in the World Test Championship. They've dropped catches in this match as well.
Hazelwood to finish his first over. Close to the stumps to Duckett. On leg stump and tucked through the onside. Well in front of square. Travis head around from deep square leg to collect. They add 2 more, so Duckett's 5. And they've taken 5 off Hazelwood's first over. On the Beaumont Tile scoreboard, Hugh Sale on now. The lead's 15, England none for 8.
Bendix EV hybrid brake pads are designed to meet the changing needs of EV braking systems, ensuring a low environmental impact whilst delivering low dust and quieter operation. Cleaner wheels, longer brake disc life, and Bendix green titanium stripe technology for instant friction without the need for bedding in. Ask for Bendix EV hybrid brake pads at your next service. Bendix, put your foot down with confidence.
We're at Edgbaston for Macca's. Here's to 30 years of the McCafe and the sessions for Drinkwise. Remember, if you're having a drink to Drinkwise, and it's going to be Pat Cummins here from our pavilion end. To the right-handed Crawley. Give him one on the hip. Takes an easy single to fine leg. Hazelwood does the fielding. Crawley 3, none for 9. They haven't started especially well here, Australia.
Haven't had a line yet, have they? They've been a bit both sides, and they've been picked off both sides. So nothing threatening so far. I don't expect them to follow what I'm going to suggest, but I do hope at some point they treat this as a subcontinental pitch, because that's kind of what we've got, certainly what we've seen so far from what England sort of made their decisions about it as well. And they use some of their skills, their T20 skills. They use their knuckleball, they use their cutters, they use their slow bouncer.
Cummins to Duckett. Into the onside again from the leg stump. Just a little tuck. And Boland's around from mid-on. They add 1. Duckett's to 6. None for 10. England lead 17.
They use slower balls. Do you know what I mean? I think on this sort of surface, once the catches behind are taken away, and perhaps they then form short covers and short mid-wickets and so on. Stokes obviously goes to excess, but I mean that's okay. That's his way, and maybe Cummins isn't like that, but that will be, you'll set more people in front of the bat for catching rather than behind it.
Cummins to Crawley, closer to the stumps, and it's on his hip again. Second time in the over, he's given Crawley an easy single to fine leg. He's 4, none for 11. Make that none for 12.
So I do hope they do at least think of that as a policy for their bowlers and give them some freedom to, instead of just keep on running up with the seam up and so on.
Have we seen a slips catch in this game yet?
I don't believe so.
Well, I mean, we could have had one to first slip if the keepers hadn't got in the way, but that's it, right? I mean,
it's come from an inside edge sometimes, hasn't it?
You're not going to get a lot of edges. We've already gone down from 2 slips in a gully to 1 slip in a gully, as I say that.
Yeah.
So I think you're right.
So the field change is that they have an extra man on the onside now, mid-wicket, Labuschagne. Deep backward point remains. Cummins halfway through his over. To Duckett here, over the wicket. Duckett on leg stump. 4th ball in a row for Pat Cummins on the leg stump. You don't see that very often. Easy singles. He's 7, none for 12. Lead 19.
He wasn't happy with that one either. I saw him turn around straight away. I think he's just suggesting there's something with his action that's not quite working the way he wants. He's playing around with his arm there as if to say he wasn't getting it. Maybe falling over a little bit.
Seeing an eviction. We're seeing Darth Vader being kicked out, Phil.
Darth Vader's just been kicked out of Edgbaston.
That's an screen for Tyre Power, your tyre experts.
Come to the dark side, Jeremy.
Cummins just...
Is it good news for the afternoon?
We did see those innovative fields you're referring to, Jeremy. It was a bit of a catalyst at the end, that collapse. Australia losing 4 wickets in 20 balls to end the innings. The fielders were all over the place there in front of the batters as Cummins delivers to Crawley and defends into the onside. At one stage, the ball that got Khawaja out, there were 3 catching covers and 3 catching mid-wickets.
That's right.
And one of those catching covers was basically a silly point. So they... And on that dismissal, I might come back to what Robinson did after in the next over, but this morning we're happy to be far more resourceful. WinViz on the screen here says England 56, Australia 39, the draw 5. Shrug your shoulders, Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't take any notice of that stuff.
It's a backward-looking measure, and
I was going to say this is not a pitch we've ever seen at Edgbaston before, so right. I'm not too worried about that one.
And usually, what's happened before has some influence on what happens in the future. Not so much with this England team. Cummins to finish, bowling to Crawley. Gets a bit more bounce on him there. Better delivery. Back of a length. Came forward to defend. End of the over. 3 gone, none for 12 on the Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Huge sale on now. Crawley 4, Duckett 7, the lead 19.
Here's another top tyre tip from Tyre Power. If your tyre pressure isn't right or your wheels aren't aligned, it can affect your car's fuel efficiency. For more ways Tyre Power can help you save, visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local independent owner.
The Cheese and Bacon McSpicy is back. Juicy chicken covered in a crispy, spicy coating, plus cheese and sizzling bacon. Order the Cheese and Bacon McSpicy at Macca's today. Available after 10:30 a.m. for a limited time.
Drop us a text anytime, 0433 98 11 16. We're in New Zealand, 8833, as Jeremy Coney sung to you this morning on the SEN Twitter feed and the SENZ Twitter feed as well. I wonder whether we have opinions on the send-off that Ollie Robinson gave Usman Khawaja that might come through on the text.
There was a little bit going on there. Just something Jeremy's just noticed, that it looked like Pat Cummins had a pill there, and I thought he was clutching his right shoulder a little bit.
Okay, Hazelwood, 2 in the cordon, bowls to Duckett, forward defending. So we'll keep an eye on Pat Cummins and his shoulder. So there, just to be clear, I mean, there's video footage in slow-mo of Robinson after knocking Khawaja over where he says some incredibly unsavoury things when he's running off.
Really?
Which just strikes me as so ill-considered and so out of step with the respect these sides seemingly have for each other. The fact that it's Khawaja playing the way that he played, it just makes no sense to me.
When you've rattled a guy for 141, I think that's the time to send him off.
Anyway. And coverage for Macca's. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe. Hazelwood bowls and Duckett plays off the front foot and gets it past Khawaja at mid-on. Only just. He might have taken some pace off, but the ball trickles towards the rope. Khawaja out in the middle for so long. Reaches it about 1 metre inside the rope. They rotate for a third. That'll move Duckett into double figures. He's 10 from 10. England none for 15 in the 4th over.
Yeah, not a great effort in the field there. I mean, you know, we've got Khawaja. Hazelwood's not moving particularly well in the field. Obviously, Boland not particularly good. And Head is a good athlete, but seems to fumble and miss the ball a lot. It's just not the kind of strong Australian fielding effort you need, which is generally really like, well, the outfielders don't matter as much anyway in Test cricket. But against England specifically, you're basically playing a one-day game against them. So those guys are very important. So you have to stop that. That should have been stopped.
Change in field here. Smith moving further up at second slip. Keeping with the text we got from Steve saying, has anyone considered bringing the slips up to half the distance they normally would be?
Well, we've seen a lot in England over the last couple of years of slips wearing helmets, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think they did it against New Zealand as well.
Yes, they did. Often Joe Root, third slip up close with the lid on. Hazelwood to Crawley, the right-hander, drives out the middle of the bat to mid-off where Khawaja stops at no run.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of wicket. But to be honest, we haven't seen that many edges either, so I'm not sure that it's going to be the most used. But we saw a catching backward point when Cummins was batting. So, yeah, we're going to see some weird fields.
Yeah, I personally think also if you are in the slips, you've got to be, I mean, what's the point in being there unless you're there for the catch? So you might have to push yourself up until you're a wee bit uncomfortable with your depth. Secondly, you've got to be low because that's generally where the catches are going to go.
Here's Hazelwood to Crawley on leg stump for the umpteenth time, so it feels in this third innings so far. Out to mid-wicket. Crawley single moves him to 5, done for 16. They have not got it right with the radar yet, not even close.
No. How do you feel about slip fielders with their hands on their knees?
You know I don't like it.
I do know you don't like it.
So
and I told you that the England team do it because they think it saves their batters' backs, and I told you that, and you still didn't like it.
I don't care that.
We'll get a new back.
Jeremy Coney, of course.
Why would you separate the unit that's just so important? You've got to catch with 2 hands in the slips and you separate it by putting 1 on each knee? No. And why do they put that? And that also gives you heel strike. It pushes your weight onto your heels.
Hazelwood, change of angle to Duckett. Round the wicket he goes, and Duckett opens the face of the bat, gets 1 to third man. He's 11, none for 17. 1 left in the over.
Slip catching is about an athletic, quick movement, right? You should be like a dancer. You're on the balls of your feet. You should be like a boxer. You should be on the balls of your feet, ready to make a quick, agile movement. That's what slip catching is about. It's not slipper. It's, you know, separating your unit and putting your weight on the back of your heels. You cannot catch that way easily.
And if you're not familiar with Jeremy Coney, one of the greatest slip fielders of all time, there for Richard Hadley for all those years, so he knows a thing or two about this. As Hazelwood turns at the top of his mark, Birmingham City end to complete his second over. 2 catches behind the wicket to Crawley, leaves alone. That carries through nicely. The first we've seen do that. The first they've let go. The lead's 24 after 4 overs. Beaumont Tile scoreboard, huge sail on now. Duckett 11, Crawley 5, England none for 17.
Stay on the ball while you're on the road. The SEN app is now available on Apple CarPlay, so you can keep up with all the big moments, expert commentary, and the latest news. When it happens in sport, SEN has you covered. Find the SEN app on Apple CarPlay.
Hello, it's Bargain calling. Get Coke and Mobile monthly plan. Unlimited talk, text, and 10 gigs for $15 with first month free. Talk about a bargain. cokeandmobile.com.au. T's and C's apply.
SEN Test cricket for Maccas. Here's the 30 years of the McCafe. Jarrod Kimber set Coney up on a rant about slips catching, and he's jumped out of the box.
Sorry, I didn't mean to have
No. I always value your thoughts on that particular pursuit. Peter Lalor, the Australian's chief cricket correspondent, in with us for the first time today. Lalor, how you going?
I don't know where to put my hands. Certainly won't be on Jeremy Coney's knees.
That's fair.
They're on my head. I've got my hands on my head. They're going to stay there for the whole time I'm here. At least until Jeremy leaves.
As the news hound that you are, I'm sure it wasn't lost upon you, the send-off that Robinson gave Khawaja.
Well, I was just going to ask you what you thought of that, and perhaps Jeremy too. Guy made 141 runs. You know, you put in a pretty ordinary bowling performance. Good ball to get him. You got him, but you got him when he was on 141. It's a bit like people saying how brilliant Stokes' field placements were to get that wicket.
Cummins round the wicket to Duckett. New over here. Duckett plays with hands well away from his body to cover. No single, though.
Yeah, good on you, but he's got 141 runs. Didn't like it.
Just don't think it shows a lot of emotional intelligence from Robinson, to be honest with you. And we've seen a number of examples of that across his short journey in the international game. There's something going on with Alex Carey's eye, by the way. Last over, he was with Stephen Smith at slip, and he had Smith looking into his eye, and he had his glove next to his head, and he's done it again there. So there's something with, I think it's Carey's left eye that's bothering him. Trying to get a close-up on TV here. We're training on it here for tyre power, your tyre experts. Cummins bowls. A bit of jag back to Duckett. He's awkward playing it out to the offside, but no run.
Does he wear contacts?
I don't know. Bharat might know that. He knows Carey pretty well.
I used to wear contacts. They looked like a contact lens issue, didn't it? If you look now, look.
Seeing here, he's with Cameron Green and Steve Smith.
That's when you need Jeff Lawson in the field, isn't it?
Yes, you certainly do.
Trained optometrist.
Hello, Henry, if you're listening. He sent me a text yesterday. He was tuning in.
Is he?
Yeah, he was. It was
great fella, Henry.
Absolutely. Cummins round the wicket. Bowls here to Duckett, wide of the crease on his hip. Nearly spoons it to mid-wicket. So we've seen Cummins on that line over the wicket to Duckett and to Crawley as well. That's the first time it's been with any meaningful danger. Lands about 3 metres in front of Labuschagne.
Saw England with 2 catching fielders in that mid-wicket position where that one's floated to. It's one place where you might be a chance on a wicket like this, a slow wicket where the ball is hitting the middle of the bat. So, as you were saying earlier, not a lot going on for the slips.
No. There'll be more catching men in front shortly. And that's where they start to need to use some different kinds of deliveries, the bowlers.
Cummins on the charge, bowls here to Duckett on leg stump. Labuschagne has to tidy up for a mid-wicket, the single next to the square leg umpire. He's 12, none for 18, 2 left in the 5th over. I wonder how many of Duckett's 12 runs have come from that shot so far. I'd suggest about 10.
I wonder if Ollie Robinson is going to get here from the match referee over that insert.
The first bit he directs, I've seen a slow-mo of it.
Yeah.
The first bit seemingly is at Khawaja, and the second bit's more at his teammates, and the second bit's marginally worse than the first bit. The first bit's a send-off that you would normally hear, the straight old-fashioned F off.
Yes.
And then he calls him an effing P.
It's quite gratuitous, really. It's not like he's not one of the great antagonists of modern life, is he? Usman Khawaja, I mean. There's sort of zen about him.
Yeah,
you say that about a Muslim.
Meditated his way to 141.
Yeah.
He's 25. So they haven't got off to a flyer exactly, but they're ticking the board over as they see fit. Cummins. Prize one out here. It's Crawley on middle and leg and out to mid-wicket, albeit not for a run this time. So they're trying to hit the stumps.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. They're pads and stumps, aren't they? But you're often, it's a difficult line to bowl, I think, Jeremy. You always seem to drift down leg a little bit when you're that pad stump line.
Yeah,
hence the protection. 2 out there on the boundary.
It's just a question of whether you need another man over if you go that way, isn't it? Whether you have the 4-5 field rather than the 5-4. At the moment, they've got an offside kind of 5-4 field.
Cummins from our pavilion end to Crawley here, who defends down towards mid-on. That's the end of 5 overs on the Beaumont Tile scoreboard. Hugh Shale on now. England none for 18, lead 25, Crawley 5, Duckett 12.
Here's another top tyre tip from Tyre Power. All Tyre Power owners are committed to local tyre recycling programs, which means at Tyre Power, your old tyres don't end up in landfill. To learn more, visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local independent owner.
McCafe is turning 30 this year. That's 3 decades of McCafe making the perfect coffee to go with your early mornings, sideline cheers, road trip stops, and long swigs squeezed into short breaks. So here's to 30 years of McCafe. Coffee fit for an Aussie.
SEN Test Cricket for Maccas. Here's to 30 years of the McCafe. All eyes on Alex Carey's eye, and Nick Jones, the physios, ran out between overs to pay some attention to him. Maybe a couple of eye drops. It's going to be spin. Nathan Lyon took 4 for 149 in 29 overs in the first innings, and this will be a sign of the kind of afternoon this might move into, with Mo and Ali generating so much turn from that Birmingham City end, and that's the end that Lyon will start after just 2 overs from Hazelwood. And we know that Cummins doesn't mind chopping and changing early in an innings, Pete. We've seen that repeatedly.
No, last week in the World Test Championship, he had Stark off after 2 overs. Put Boland on.
Nothing wrong with trying it. He's going to be a key figure, isn't he? I mean, even 4 wickets on the first innings of a very kind of docile pitch. Here he's going to get a bit more assistance, I think, today.
Holly's down singing their new song over there. They don't rate Nathan as it relates to Moeen, it would seem.
Yes.
Again, that kind of bolsters that argument that the crowd that are a bit self-selecting in the Hollies. They're the types that come to the cricket once a year. They know a couple of Australian players. They can count to 10 roughly. And beyond that, they're pressed. I like Old Trafford and Leeds better. Coney on that front.
I've developed a real affection for the Brummies. Yeah.
It's not that I don't like Birmingham. I love the city. I love the ground.
Wonderful city, wonderful people. They're very colourful, very entertaining. Saturday night, it's just something else.
Best accent in England as well.
Yeah, lovely accent. Come into their own, really, haven't they, with this Peaky Blinders business? Yeah.
Down in the canals, you would have spent plenty of time here as a player, Jeremy.
Yep.
That was a rough old town in those days, Jeremy, down on the canals.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. Not that it was a long time ago. Clean-up's been recent.
Lyon's got a slip at a silly point. His first delivery will be a Duckett, the left-hander. Can he get one to turn straight away? That's off the back foot, though. Duckett, that's a point. A nice little prod from the crease. He's 13, none for 19, lead of 26. Yes, it feels like Peaky Blinders has done wonders for the economy here as well. We saw the Sky team 4 years ago before the first Test match do a little skit down there wearing the flat caps and the Shelby-style clothing and so on.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
They did it really effectively, didn't they?
Yeah.
The Nick Cave song playing in the background, Red Right Hand.
So Lyon's going to have the slip short leg configuration for the right-handed Crawley. He was 5 from 15, slower start from him. 2 out on the leg side, including a long on. Lyon bowls and Crawley goes behind square. Sorry, there's 3 men behind on the leg side. One of them, Scott Boland. Couldn't see him. My screamer's in the way, so only 1 for that shot. Crawley 6 done for 20. So deep back. Oh, it'll change now with the left-hander on strike, but deep backward square, deep square leg, mid-on, mid-off, so 1 further man up for the left-hander. Cover, backward point, slit, silly point, and deep backward point sweeping. Great escape being sung in the Hollies. I'm not quite sure why. Lyon bowls and lapping is Duckett. The first bit of resourceful batting we've seen in the second innings. And it runs away for 4. Duckett to 17. None for 24 England. We're going to try and put pressure on Lyon straight away. Good shot that, well executed shot.
Now,
almost a catching man, I would have thought, rather than going back too far.
Yeah, Marnus Labuschagne has now moved into... No, hang on. They haven't made up their mind yet.
Yeah.
Boland.
So short fine, but as you say, it's there for the miscued, premeditated lap.
Top edge, rather than just a sort of an assistance.
And a short third for the reverse version of that, gone wrong. Lyon round the wicket, delivers here, and forward is Duckett in defence.
Yeah, obviously Lyon's going to be a key figure in this whole second innings, and I think the other person who's obviously a key figure therefore is Carey. You know, we've seen chances coming with keepers and so on. He's got to do really a good job here for Australia. Stumpings, nicks.
Line up, wider of the crease. Duckett too short. Pushes it back to the bowler. No concerns there. So when can Lyon get that first one to really go? It's going to happen, right? We've seen this pitch with Moeen already. It's the one thing going for it, really. Spin from the Birmingham City end. There's something there. Nothing else from the seamers. Lyon to finish his first over. Duckett again able to go back. Doesn't quite get his length right there, Lyon, in his first over. 6 runs taken from it. None for 24 England. The lead is 31. Crawley 6, Duckett 17. And we'll have a change in commentary after the break. Daniel Norcross coming in for me. That's all on the Beaumont's Hale scoreboard. Huge sale on now.
All right, I'm going to the bar. We'll be back in a tick.
Seriously? They just bounced the ball, mate. Wait till quarter time.
I won't be long this time.
Can I get a mid-strength and...
Oh, come on. Hurry up. So many people. Oh, what? What did I miss? Who scored?
Spending more time queuing for drinks than watching the game? You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
SEN Test Cricket with McCafe celebrating 30 years of coffee fit for an Aussie. England none for 24. They had that slender first innings lead of 7, so 31 runs ahead. Cummins continues his bowl unchanged. From the pavilion end to the right-handed Crawley, just 2 slips and a ring field in place as he's in right arm over. And Crawley's beaten on the outside edge. Well, I say beaten. Carey thought there was an edge there. It was not the most concerted appeal, actually. But Crawley, they failed, if you recall, to detect an edge against him in the first innings, and he got away with it. There was a bit of an afterthought of an appeal, and Cummins is not going to go for it.
Smith was half-hearted. If Smith's half-hearted,
And Smith basically left it to Carey and Green. He just told Pat Cummins, you check with those two.
Let's take a look on the replay stream with Tyre Power, your tyre experts. What's the view, Bharat Sundaresan?
The bat came down too. Hey, the ball had already gone past.
Ultra edge shows, nothing
Big
there.
Probably first. Is that the first delivery that's beaten the bat today?
Yeah, it has. Very much so.
Well, Moeen beat the bat a couple of times.
Did he?
Yeah. From the fast bowlers, yeah, he did.
Bit of a worry, Moeen coming
Big worry, that. Cummins in. Crawley clips away off the pads down towards long leg for an easy single. Move for 7. None for 25. I mean, we'll find out more about Moeen as the day continues, but that is a bit calamitous. But I think if you ask somebody to come and play a Test match who's not played one for 2 years, you shouldn't be overly surprised if their fingers get busted after bowling 29 overs in one day. It's sort of half of the course, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a pretty rude welcome as well. I saw Ben Stokes facing Moeen Ali, first training session after being recalled, just smashed him. Speak of tough love.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fair, does it? Cummins is going to go round the wicket to Duckett, a short Duckett, who pushes forward without a great deal of decisive foot movement into the offside, but comes out the middle of the bat, goes to short extra.
Pat Cummins doesn't look very right, does he, Pete? He just, just the way he's going through the crease.
I thought that in the World Test Championship, I didn't see quite the same fluency in his follow-through, don't you think?
Yeah, some movement for him in the air there, which is very rare to see with Pat Cummins, but just the way he's going through the crease, he hasn't looked like himself.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Still a hugely effective bowler as he's in once more, and this is defended by Duckett into the ground. It pops up but lands safely.
I think you're right. He doesn't seem to have that sort of Cummins control, does he?
Yeah, that oomph is not there,
Is it the follow-through? I mean, normally you get a little bit more of that. I wonder if he's got a tiny niggle or a strain.
And the way he walks back to the top of the mark, there is always intent with Pat Cummins, like he feels it. And I'm not saying it's not there, but it just doesn't feel the same.
Well, there's a slight, I'm not going to call it a limp, but there's a favouring of one leg over the other.
He's always done that. He's always done that.
Okay. He's into Duckett, who clips this away off his pads. That's running down to long leg again, just straying onto the pads. And Duckett gets an easy single, goes to 18.
He's always walked back a little bit like he's got a creaky pelvis.
Yeah.
And because we were all very worried when he first came into Test cricket. We'd watch him very carefully, think, oh, he's not right. But it's been ever thus.
Yeah.
But I take your point about the way he's running through the crease.
Ground staff are getting ready. That's all a good sign. Ehsan Raza is...
Well, that's all about radars, isn't it?
Oh, and Mario Erasmus is pointing to the heavens.
Well, if they see lightning, this is what's so frustrating. If you see lightning from miles and miles away,
exactly.
Off they come, you know.
All levels of cricket.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you sort of build up a ground that's large enough that you can only see the lightning when it's very close.
It's raining. It's raining.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, I see umbrellas.
Yeah, I see people heading for cover too, so it must be reasonably...
It's a tickish.
I think they're coming off.
That's it. The umpires have called the covers on. And this is earlier than we thought, actually. We were expecting some wet rain, some proper rain at around about 4. And it's not raining heavily, but it's raining enough for the covers to come on. And this is frustrating for all concerned, because I think these are the conditions Australia would like to bowl in. And certainly the crowd would want to be watching, because England have got a lead of 33 with 10 wickets in hand. The game's beautifully poised.
Yeah, I don't think the Australians are that keen to come off. Cummins is standing his ground and seems to say to Crawley, it's not that heavy.
Yeah, that's right. The Australians haven't really gone anywhere yet.
Pat Cummins is going to...
Slowly.
I think he's going to stand his ground. He's not going to let the covers come onto the ground. Look at him. He hasn't moved from his position.
No, they can go around.
Covers about to take him out here.
Now look at that dust come up when they put the hovercraft on top of that pitch.
There's a lot of dust.
He actually had to get out of the way of the groundsman.
He had the ball. He was giving it to the umpires. So he was waiting for the umpires so he could give him the ball. And he's taken his sunglasses from umpire Ehsan Raza. The lights have come on. The covers have come on. And this is what we wanted to see. So I tell you, I mean, there are many good features of Birmingham, but Birmingham in cloud and rain is one of the most doom-laden places on earth.
Really?
Yes. If the clouds really come in later today, what you can see now is a cityscape away there, yeah? We get to a point at about 4 o'clock when you can't even see those buildings. You will feel that you have reached the 7th circle of hell. This was J.R.R. Tolkien's inspiration for, is it Middle-earth, the bad bit in The Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
I don't really know that very well. But
this is also the inspiration for Tony Iommi playing the Devil's God. This was the inspiration for Ozzy Osbourne.
Correct.
This was the inspiration for Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant came from these parts. So
you're saying Satanism?
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, like I said, Tony Iommi.
Crowley,
in 1970,
Judas Priest, all that dark music.
Yeah, well, let's assess where we're at as the clouds do come in. The forecast was for the rain to arrive at 4, so this could be a passing shower. We might get a little bit more play yet. But where we're at here is that England have picked up the 5 wickets they needed at the start of play. 4 of them in a rush as the tail rather capitulated, but notwithstanding that, another fine knock from Usman Khawaja, rebuilding his Test career, and he's now got a very fine body of work. Alex Carey gave him good support and a crucial 6-wicket partnership, but the tail was blown away, and England haven't lost a wicket in what you might think are more helpful conditions. The rain is properly coming down now. There's no way they can play in this.
No, it's heavy.
It's steady rain.
Big drops.
Big drops. Absolutely. And England are none for 26. That lead is 33. Crawley has 7. Duckett has 18.
And of course, there's not a lot of shelter for the crowd. I've never seen so many umbrellas at a cricket ground. They're so prepared. Now, what was that? You know that great Tom Waits line at the murder? Umbrellas ranged in a sad bouquet.
Oh, how beautiful. Yeah. How appropriate for this. I brought my giant umbrella.
Did you?
My Wisden umbrella.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a cricketing umbrella. So let's just quickly assess where we're just waiting to see if the rain has set in. I think it probably has before we throw to a break. England 33 ahead. Obviously, they've got this mantra of not allowing draws at all. Tomorrow, we've got a good forecast. Looks like we might get a full day's play, and it would be an extended day's play with potentially 98 overs in it. But Tuesday is in and out, scattered showers. So we're almost at a one innings game potentially after 3 days. We'll get more confirmation of that as the day goes on. But if that were the case, Stokes is going to have this imperative to send the boys out to smash it.
Yeah.
And he's then going to want to declare, because he'll see rains around soon after tea, isn't he?
That golf booking looks very, very dicey.
Fifth day golf ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sunshine. Unless, of course, they collapse.
Yeah,
because
they collapse themselves.
the alternative here is the third innings pickle theory.
Does baseball allow you to give up the first test for a game of golf?
Wait, third innings pickle theory.
Yeah, you get into a pickle in the third innings when you're close. New Zealand found themselves the victims of the third innings pickle theory a couple of times last year, but especially at Trent Bridge, when having posted 560 odd, England got 530 odd all out, and New Zealand were already 1-0 down, didn't know whether to stick or twist. They didn't have quite enough time, so they were trying to get on with it to declare, but they couldn't quite do it, so they then lost wickets when they needed not to, and setting a gettable target, although they had to go a bit. So you get into a pickle in that third innings. So Australia, they'll be enlivened by that. They'll be thinking, well, the only side that can lose this here is England, because it's a flat deck. How are they going to bowl us out in 60, 70 overs? England can lose this game themselves through their devil-may-care, madcap, crazy schemes.
Yeah, and without Moeen Ali, we don't know how much Moeen Ali can bowl in the second innings. And
exactly.
It's such a subcontinent pitch that we see Nathan Lyon bowl the sixth over. I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah.
It's so much turn and grip on offer while the bowling's been from the far end to us. On a subcontinent pitch, we've seen it in India and Pakistan and Sri Lanka so many times. The pickle theory come into force, and teams collapsing in the third innings after having put runs off before the first innings.
Okay, so here's some baseball for you. Harry Brook bowled, but surely the answer to losing your off spinner is to repurpose Ollie Robinson. He's done it before.
Yeah.
He's done it before.
He has.
So they might be working on that as we speak. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting worse. Bits of Birmingham are disappearing. That actually is a good sign, because there's not a lot of architectural merit to be seen in this Britain's second city.
He's from London, you know.
Did you know? Did you know?
Yeah. I feel at home in Birmingham. It's a good spot. I like it.
We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we'll give you an update on where we're at, or assess where we're at, and make our decisions accordingly with England. None for 26 in their second innings, a lead of 33.
Here's another powerful reason to choose Tyre Power. Our buying power gives you the power of lower prices on a huge range of leading tyre brands. Get the power to save on your next set of tyres. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 1321 91 for your local independent owner.
McCafe is turning 30 this year. That's 3 decades of McCafe making the perfect coffee to go with your early mornings, sideline cheers, road trip stops, and long swigs squeezed into short breaks. So here's to 30 years of McCafe. Coffee fit for an Aussie.
Polaris Ranger has been the #1 selling utility side by side for over 20 years. With over 15 models to choose from, petrol, diesel or electric, from 2-seat single cab to 6-seat dual cab. Introducing the all-new mid-size Ranger SP530, replacing the popular Ranger 500. New chassis, improved engine performance and deeper tub. And the new 2023 Ranger Northstar, featuring a full sealed cab, heater, aircon and defrost. See the new Rangers online now or visit your local Polaris expert today. Polaris, think outside.
It's the end of financial year, so take stock of the savings and get a great break at Tyre Power. Buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres, but only until June 30 at Tyre Power's end of financial year sale. Visit tyrepower.com.au.
They're back. Spicy Chicken McNuggets with a crispy, mouth-wateringly spicy coating. Get them before they're gone. Again. Order Spicy Chicken McNuggets at Macca's today. Available for a limited time.
Thirsty Camel! Thirsty Camel here. Win $5, $10 or $20 off your next purchase with Hump Club bonus rewards. 1 in 10 wins. You're beauty, but not for the other 9. Sign up online or in-store to get more perks like birthday rewards and exclusive weekly product offers. Membership has its perks. Download the app or add your membership to your digital wallet. If you have one, drink responsibly. Available at selected stores only. T's and C's apply. Ends 9 July. Even camels get thirsty.
It's the end of financial year, so take stock of the savings and get a great break at Tyre Power. Buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres, but only until June 30 at Tyre Power's end of financial year sale. Visit tyrepower.com.au.
Macca's OG McSpicy. Juicy chicken covered in a crispy, mouth-wateringly spicy coating. It's the McSpicy that started it all. Order at Macca's today. Available after 10:30am.
For over 40 years, Kubota have worked the Australian landscape and faced its challenges. From first light to sunset, our agriculture and construction range works with power and versatility that you can rely on. From our mid-size to professional tractors, dependable mowers, zero tail swing or conventional excavators, and more. Kubota is building and shaping the future. Visit kubota.com.au or head to your nearest dealer to learn more.
SEN Test Cricket with Macca's. Here's to 30 years of cafe. I'm afraid it's raining here at Edgbaston. It's not absolutely bucketing it down. There's a little bit of lightness in the sky, but there's a fair covering of water now on the covers, so we're not going to see a resumption of play for too long. There are a lot of umbrellas up, but on the Remontal scoreboard, looking ahead of me, 26, 33. We've effectively got a one-innings game on our hands here. Luckett has 18, Crawley 7. We've already seen Nathan 9, 86.5 overs in play. Would have been possible. Pat Cummins has bowled unchanged from the pavilion end on a very slow pitch, despite what Ben Stokes said about not wanting draws and any of that sort of stuff. But there's a danger this game could dribble out into one if they're not careful. We've got a lot of rain forecast for later in the day. A good day tomorrow, the 4th day forecast, and then the 5th day a bit in and out. So I'll be interested to see what England's tactics is going to be. The onus will be on them. Pete Lalor, though, has just made the sign that he thinks the rain may have stopped. I didn't see umbrellas up. It's a funny old sky, I've got to tell you here. Has it stopped? It hasn't stopped. No, mercifully, Bharat Sundaresan is here, and he can see the rain better than we can. So what we're going to do for the next 19, 20 minutes or so is we're going to give you, I'll put you in the company of Damien Fleming in our From the Road to the Ashes series, in which he was alongside Simon O'Donnell and Steve Harmison.
What a few months SEN's going to have. They're going over to the UK to bring you every ball of this Ashes series and the World Test Championship final. Of course, that's at the Oval prior to the Ashes starting. And a man who is going to be part of the whole lot, the call team, synonymous with SEN, synonymous with Channel 7, synonymous with World Cricket, is Damien Fleming, who joins us on Road to the Ashes right now. Flem, a big welcome to you.
What an intro. What an intro. That's why you're a legendary captain of Victoria. Hey, Harmy, good to see you. And 48, always good to catch up with you.
Yeah, and yourself. I remember, Simon, a very young man going over to Rod Marsh's Academy in 2000, I think it was. And we got a game at the unbelievable chance to play at the MCG. And a certain Mr. Fleming came and played second team for Victoria because he come back from an injury. So we were over the moon to play against an absolute Ashes legend in an MCG with 100,000 seats with about 4 people in.
So having said that, Harmy, what he just said then, Harmy, before he starts to overwhelm our interview here, he called me 48. Harmy, when Flem and I played together for Victoria, Flem batted, I would hope, no higher than 10. He might have got to 9 every now and then. I used to hover around 5 and 6. Flem's colourful Test career came up with some very, very good scores. My top score was 48. His was far greater than that. And he now refers to me as 48. Which I thought quite nasty.
I think very, very nasty.
I mean, what was your highest Test score?
49. Monty Panesar ran me out. I hit the ball straight to He hit the ball straight to AB de Villiers and shouted, "Run!" And I went. So as we were walking back, I said to Mont, "What do you run for?" And he said, "I thought he was a wicketkeeper. He was a backward point." I said, "He's one of the best fielders in the world as well."
So you've got a higher score than Scoob, and I scored 23 extra runs. So I'm the only one here that raised their bat in an Ashes Test match. Is
you
that
did.
right?
Yeah, you did.
Right. Quite right.
And I was robbed. You had Monty. I had bloody Glenn McGrath. I only needed 15 more minutes, and he bloody tried to slog Robert Croft out of the ground, second ball.
Flem, straightening this up because I'm the one copying Lander, so I'd like to straighten it up. This Ashes series, and the build-up to there's always massive build-ups to an Ashes series. Throw the Bazball in and the injury concerns. This is fantastic what's going on here. You just can't wait for June 16.
Yeah, it's a cracker, isn't it? And full credit to England. They're trying something different. Bazball, but they're a little bit of a contradiction because they're Bazball with the bat, but they're more a defensive bowling unit, the traditional line and length, letting the juke ball work for themselves, bit of cross seam and, using both sides of the wicket. So it's sort of like the matchup of Bazball batting, T20 batting against a highly credentialed Australian team. Is that sustainable over 5 test matches? And then also, we know James Anderson, Broad, Robinson's in for a big Ashes series as long as he's fit. I think, how is Australia's batting going to cope against them? Because I've got no doubt Marnus and Smith can make a lot of runs, Travis Head, Cam Green, but they don't want to be walking in at 1 or 2 down straight away like they were in 2019. So I'm intrigued, Harmy, just by the pure matchups through this Ashes series, and then also that trend of how well the Bazball batting will go against our attack.
Yeah, spot on. When it comes to the terminology of Bazball bat and Bazball ball, I think in New Zealand, England were looking to try and keep their fast bowlers for the Ashes, Wood, Archer, knowing the IPL was on the horizon, but I think that was the grand plan. Ben wanted 5 fast bowlers, 6 fast bowlers, and he wanted at least 2 of them to be 90-mile-an-hour bowlers. Now they're injured, and we're going to go back to the old guard, and that's what the old guard is. Broad, Anderson, Robinson's got a bit of a niggle. Wood will play. His wife's about to give birth today as we speak. So once that happens and it's out of the way, and fingers crossed for Sarah, everything's good, he comes into this series with a spring in his step. Now, I want to question and throw it back on that front is England, they've got some injury concerns. Australia have got some players playing some fantastic cricket and first-class cricket in England. And I've said this quite a few times, Flem, that I think England are the best team in the world at this moment in time. Australia have probably got the better players individually. But when you go into that World Test Championship first Test match, do you go in with the best players, or do you go in with the best players who are performing well? And I look at first-class cricket at the minute, and you've got Michael Nesser, who's bowling unbelievable, Sean Abbott bowling very, very well. You've got Marcus Harris batting very, very well. You mentioned the top of the order. I think England's top of the order is vulnerable, but I also think if England want to win the Ashes, they get into Australia's top of the order, and that's how they do it with Warner and Khawaja.
Yeah, certainly so. But my gut feeling is they're going to go with the 11 that they'll play in the first Ashes Test match. And I think it would be only an injury to Hazelwood that might see Ness come in, who's on fire in county cricket. But they'll want to win this Test championship. They spoke a lot how overrates cost them last time. So this is something that they want to win badly, and it also gives them a nice run into that first Test match. So my gut feel is Warner will open with Khawaja. If Hazelwood's fit, he'll play. If he's not, I think Boland would play against Ness anyway. So I think they'll keep it pretty simple, but I'm hearing that they've certainly encouraged Ness, Harris and also Hanscom to be over playing county cricket because for injuries, but also for form, because it's 5 test matches. And particularly with the batting, to be able to bring in some batsmen who are in form in county cricket would be an absolute luxury. So I think they'll go pretty standard first up, but if things don't go to plan, I wouldn't be surprised to see players outside the squad play in this Ashes series.
Flem, you talked a little earlier about some support for, in particular, Labuschagne and Smith and Head in that upper and middle order. Now, that obviously comes with the openers being successful. Usman Khawaja has been a revelation there over the last couple of years. But where do you sit on the Warner situation? And if things do go awry and you have a Marcus Harris peeling off runs for Gloucester, what do you do? When do you make that change? You know, how do you measure how important that is?
Well, going back, I would have picked a right-hand opening batsman as someone as a backup opener to Khawaja and Warner. So I've always felt like Cam Bancroft is just a little bit short of test class, but I saw some refinement in his technique over the summer. He had a very closed technique, which led open to outside edges and also the ball angling in. But he looks to have got a straighter plane of the bat these days. So to go in with 4 left-hand opening batsmen, Harris and Renshaw there as well, I thought, what happens if Broad, Anderson, Robinson get into a groove against our left-handed top-order batsmen? You know, where's the change-up? You know, what are we going to do about being able to play a right-hand batsman? So I would have done that initially, but I've still got Warner ahead of Harris despite the form, because otherwise why pick him? There's no use going to a younger player and having an older player as the backup. I think start with the more established players, and if they get themselves out of form, then you bring in the younger players and you move on from there.
And Flem, we've talked about this series, and it's going to be a fascinating series. It's going to be a great series. But the Ashes, you know, there's all baseball, there's all injuries, there's all everything that's going with it. But you can play one way in a normal bilateral series, but that 5-letter word does wonderful things to the mind. I can certainly vouch for that because I did it in Brisbane. But when you talk about the Ashes and what the Ashes means, what does the Ashes mean to Damien Fleming? Experiences you've had in it?
Yeah, well, obviously I didn't play as much international cricket as you, Harmy, but for me, the test matches that I played, and Scoob as well, I just thought Ashes were just twice the pressure of any other test match, just because of the tradition built, you know, the original 2 teams. Even the Tuesday before day 1 at the Gabba on a Thursday, you know, signing 500 bats, all the English press are coming over. As you know, that running in for the first ball at the Gabba, it's so loud. So for me, I always just thought it was something that I always wanted to play in. My first Ashes series that I remember were Botham's Ashes, 81. And what a series that one was. So I just thought to be able to play in a couple of Ashes series, pour the drinks in 2001. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a gig on that one. You know, it was just another level compared to playing against other nations. And in the 2 series I played at home, you know, they were pretty good England teams, 94, 95, 98, 99. But once again, as we know, it's the bowlers that dictate test match wins, and you've got to get 20 wickets. And really, when I look at those 2 series I played in, the reason we dominated really was we had Craig McDermott and Shane Warne in 94, 95, who I think both took over 30 wickets. And then in 98, 99, we had McGrath taking over the fast bowling mantle. Warney was injured for the first 4 tests, and then Stuart McGill took 27 wickets in 4 test matches. So it was about the bowlers. So I see it no differently here. It'll probably be that as much as we've got baseball batting, I think it'll be whichever bowling attack dominates more that'll dictate who wins.
Let's just give you a little reminder, Flem, while you're talking about bowling attacks and those attacks winning test matches. Let's take you back to 1994, the MCG, pretty much a packed house. I want your thoughts after you listen to this bit of audio.
There we go. Fleming took the last one. Merv Hughes before him.
In his career. What a catch by David Boone. You won't see many better catches than forward short leg than that one. The Aussies are all around, and have a look at that. Fleming alongside Vaughan there, the last two to take a hat-trick for Australia. What a moment.
Well, he got his hat-trick. You were joyous when he got his. You had your own little opportunity too, Flem.
Well, he dropped my bloody second hat-trick, didn't he, Warnie?
Shocking.
What the audio doesn't say, I'd got one in my first test, so I did say to him, mate, do you really want to know how to get a test hat-trick? Because I've already got one, all right, just to calm him. But so I talked him through it, went with the stock ball, and then 5 years later, when I've got the chance to get two, he bloody drops it, doesn't it? But the late Warnie, as we all know, in my time, in a famous team, he was the most famous teammate by tenfold, and he had so much charisma, and he was always going to get the hat trick that day. And for me, it's one of the highlights of my career. You know, for Warnie to get it in front of his home crowd. Booney was actually on his 34th birthday. You know, took the catch, and it was the first time we'd sang the song underneath the Southern Cross-eyed stand when I'd been in the 11. So, you know, for me, it was fantastic memories. But I remember everyone ran in, but the umpire, Steve Randall, hadn't given it out. So I'm the last to run in. So I waited for Steve to put up his finger. So I was the last one in there to celebrate. But, you know, just once again, Warnie wasn't going to do it anywhere else but the MCG, you know, a place he owns. And just another little milestone for the great man to tick off, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you talk us through your hat trick, Flem. You know, we talk about Ashes hat tricks. It's an unbelievable thing to have as a hat trick in Test match cricket. But talk us through yours.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think there's any footage. It was in Pakistan, Harmy, and the player I dismissed later got done for match fixing. So we're just still, my teammates are still wondering whether it actually counts. But it's in Wisden, boys, so I'm taking it.
So a bit like Stuart Broad not wanting to count the Ashes series because of COVID last year. You're a bit sceptical of yours because of a bit of match fixing.
Complications later on have put it into question, Steve. But as I said, is that a little wisdom in your background there? If it's in there, I'm taking it. But for me, just to be able to play, go back to the Ashes series, you know, and to win both of them, you know, and we were lucky. We finished it up pretty early. I think we were singing it by the third test match in those series. But from an English perspective, I actually helped England win 2 test matches. In Adelaide was a famous victory for England. Devon Malcolm bowled as fast as anyone's humanly bowled. Like day 5, Adelaide, it's slow, it's keeping low. And I remember I walked out to bat. Steve Waugh's middle stump had flown by about 30 metres. And Big Debbie, you know, arching back, that slinging action, I just remember going, no backlift, you could get hurt here. And he ran through us. And then in 98, 99, 3-day test, Boxing Day, late that night, myself and Colin Miller were trying to work out where we're going to celebrate, where we're getting drink cards, Star Bar, then the Crown Casino. An hour later, we're out there batting, and Dean Headley runs through us, and England win within that 3 days. So no celebrations, no drink cards.
Liam, a couple of important points for this Ashes series. Whichever way it goes, who are the guys from either side that are the key ingredients for those teams to have success?
From Australia's perspective, I think Steve Smith's going to have to score a lot of runs, him and Marnus. But the player I'm most excited about is Cam Green. That 100 in India. I know he didn't bowl a lot over there, but 6'7", bowls 145 kilometres an hour, bowls a natural outswinger. He's going to love bowling with the Duke delivery ball. So, can it be a massive breakout series for him, like Freddie Flintoff did in 2005? And from England, I'm actually going to go the all-rounder, the man who's been a match winner in Ben Stokes. I don't think under Bazball, Stokes, you can't do Bazball unless the captain and coach both embrace it. And Baz and obviously Ben are well aligned and they want to go that way. Has his game regressed a little bit? Possibly. So can he get it back up to that vintage 2019? He's been a wonderful Ashes player. Can he still come on and get handy wickets? And he's batting. Sometimes it looks for me, he's fully embraced Bazball, but maybe he needs to give himself a little bit more time with the bat, because we know if captains have bad Ashes series, it can impact the whole team. So I think it's a real big series for both all-rounders in these teams.
Flem, been fantastic to have a chat. Look forward to hearing your dulcet tones right across the series on SEN. We know, and you've already let us know that you're looking forward to getting over there and bring on June 16, I say.
Yeah, can't wait. Let everyone know Harmy's got a higher test score than you, 48. I'll catch up with you over there, Harmy.
Yeah, look forward to it, Flem. Catch you later, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Here on me, you two.
We will. Don't worry about that.
It's the end of financial year, so take stock of the savings and get a great break at Tyre Power. Buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo tyres, but only until June 30 at Tyre Power's end of financial year sale. Visit tyrepower.com.au.
Bharat Sundaresan here for Henley Homes. Check out Henley's exclusive community at the Dales Bonnybrook. Land from only $350,000 and build a Henley home, or buy a brand new completed home from only $619,900. Henley.com.au.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
Just going to grab some more beers. Pause it for me?
No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. He's about to get his ton.
Nah, it'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Hey, it's Candy here. As a presenter in the world of sport, I see many powerful performances. Now, thanks to Azito, we're helping power your next DIY project. Did you know Azito's 18-volt range is powered by Einhell? German-designed quality, driving, innovation and performance. So you can power over 85 cordless tool and garden products with the same battery. Azito, powering DIYers all day, every day. Exclusively available at Bunnings Warehouse.
When it comes to cricket, like Omar, the tradies mate, who doesn't have awesome memories of watching over after over with their mates or playing backyard cricket? Chippies, builders, sparkies, cleaners, landscapers, painters and more. Omar tradies love cricket. That's why Omar is the third umpire partner this year on SEN Cricket, reviewing the umpiring calls and helping you review your insurance. Call 13-IMAR today, the tradies mate for over 35 years Australia-wide.
That's Omar.
I'm going to go to the toilet and grab some more beers. Pause it for me?
No way, mate. We're not pausing live sport. If he kicks this, we're in front.
Nah, it'll be all right. Oh, what? Oh, no. Did I miss it? Come on, mate. You got to rewind it, please.
Oh, not a chance, mate. You can catch it on the highlights reel.
You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Yes, there is a bit of a rain delay, but welcome back to SEN's coverage of the first test between England and Australia. Rain delay at Edgbaston at the moment. Paul Sebastiani here with you. When we do have an update from Edgbaston, we'll head back to our call team. But as it currently stands, England currently leading by 33 runs, none for 26 as we head into the second session. But that rain delay looks like it's going to stick around for a little while yet. At the crease for England at the moment, Jack Crawley, of course, 7 not out of his 18 deliveries. And Benny Duckett at the moment, 18 not out of 23 deliveries. A little bit happening as well. A little bit of argy-bargy between Ollie Robinson and Usman Khawaja. Plenty has been made of that. But we'll keep the text lines open as well. 0433 98 11 16 if you're in Australia. That's the number to text through. Or if you're in NZ, 8833. That is the number to send through your text. But in the meantime, we've got a little bit of downtime, so we'll go through what has unfolded over the first 2 days, what is to happen in the next couple of sessions, what's to happen in the build-up to the back end of this first test. And John Donohoe, well, he was on the call at the MCG earlier today. He's going to join us in the studio right now to have a chat. John, hello, mate.
Hello, Paulie. Can you hear me there?
Got you loud and clear, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're just having some technical difficulties, as is always the case. But nice to be with you. It has been a long day, I must say. Your blue baggers back on the winners list. How good's that?
Yeah, no, the G was it was up and about 29,000 people. It did sound like it though with the call. There was plenty coming through the effects mic.
I'll tell you what, it felt like there was 50,000 at the MCG today. It was nice. The Blues played some good footy. They got their run game back up and going, and they'd be happy with that. You'd be happy with that. I know it doesn't paper. I know it only papers over the cracks a little bit of what's going on the last 6 or 8 weeks, but it's always nice to sing the song again after a.
It's very nice to see. Oh, actually, we made the analogy while we were in the background. Of course, a great steam call team at Edgbaston doing a fantastic job leading the line. Adam Collins. While they were on air, we made mention of it that. I made mention that it's people are asking me, you don't seem up and about, Paul, after the win. It's okay, be happy. And I said, well, it's like a punter going to Flemington, losing $8,000 because of the last 8 weeks or the last 8 races that have happened before, and then you win 1,000 and you're like, oh, yes. And then you realise you're still down $7,000. So that's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yep. No, and that's the trials and tribulations of being a footy fan, isn't it?
It is.
It's it all swings and roundabouts. 1 week your team is the best, and the next week your team's no good. So it's the beauty of the great game of footy. But we've got a good cricket test match on our hands right now as well, and you and I are big cricket followers. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, I guess. But this is evenly poised. Obviously, a seven run lead for England going into the second innings, and it just I don't know. It just there's a feel to me that the Australians, I don't know if scared is the right word, but there's not a typical Australian ruthless mentality. Yeah. I mean, the fact that Pat Cummins is starting with a deep point in the first over to two blokes who are on 0 tells me that they are buying into Bazball and they're worried about Bazball.
Is there a timid nature as to what's going on with the Aussies?
It's not this. See, the shoe's on the other foot here because the English are now the ruthless ones, and we can get back